All right, we are back, not live, but we are in the cave, locked in. This is the radio show about nothing, turned podcast about nothing. Episode 50. We'll figure out a title throughout the episode. Let's see what sticks.
It's something to stick.
Welcome back to it. To my right, co-host, co-founder, co-creator, co-owner of the studio. 2,000 points in high school. Number one CB, number one RB in Jackson Street. Yo, it was crazy. We was driving by. My mom said, "You know, we almost put you there." I ain't fuck out. He's like, "Oh, don't miss me." I got thrown out of here. I got thrown out of there so quickly, dude.
Quickly.
Yo,
quickly. I mean, quickly.
You know how fast I almost got thrown out of public school.
But, you would have been out of there quickly.
What?
They
Yeah,
would
nah.
not have been able. Boy,
Yeah.
you would have talked back to them one time and said some smart-ass shit to them,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't have known what to say, and that would have been it. They would have been like, he
yo.
got to go. He
I
got
thought I wouldn't even get in. They go see my name like, "Oh, he's Muslim." No, no, sorry. Sorry.
We starting off crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, but episode 50, man. I'm so happy to be
50,
here.
bro.
This is so we're just gonna let y'all in and be real with y'all. We recorded this episode on Thursday.
That's a fact.
Somebody called me on my work phone. Something happened on my work phone, on my phone, and the episode disappeared. So now we're re-recording episode 50 about new topics. The episode actually is on Apple and Spotify as of now, so you can still go listen to it. We got brand new mics. We sound amazing. We sound like the best. Like
Episode
the top of the
49 and a half for real.
Come on, man.
It's really for the twins.
Come on,
that's really for the
trenches.
locked
You feel
in.
me?
Yeah.
So, but we are back in this beautiful setup. All of this is provided by me and Ishmael. We go crazy with the knickknacks. This wall will be filled up over time. So I really should put a time lapse in here. I really messed up. It would have been real hard to put a time lapse in here.
We can just do it again. They won't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna take all of this.
But also, I'm glad you said that. I wanted to mention, like, comment, subscribe, and if you have anything you want us to put on the wall, you have any requests, of course, send us the money. I'm just kidding. But still, drop it in the comments. Text me if you got my phone number. You got Dale's phone number. Anything any player you want to see on the wall. Anybody.
Yeah. If you got merch. You want to put on the wall? Let us know.
I do got a bunch of stuff. I gotta bring.
Yeah, so it's
we're gonna do a time. It's gonna look really good, but if you're a fan of Division II college football team, you want them up there. Let us know. We're gonna put it on the wall. Eventually, this girl had a great idea. Like, eventually, if we do a Patreon, like, we can have people like buy a spot on the wall. But crawl before we walk.
Fire.
If you have any ideas, let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Listen, we got bills too.
Yeah. No, I'm not. We got
yeah,
bills for sure.
I can't eat.
Come on, man.
I'm broke. You got the power to change that.
Nigga, I'm broke. So, yeah, man, we are happy to be back, and it's even better that this started like right at football season, right where it's time to be comfortable and just talk about some man shit.
Man shit,
like,
bro.
you feel me? So, speaking of, let's get straight into it, man. We gonna, as always, we've been doing it every week. This time, I guess we'll kind of hold it, maybe keep it a little bit shorter since it is every week thing. But Coach Prime, 3-0,
our weekly Prime segment,
right? So prime time with the show about nothing. You feel me?
Yep.
So. An amazing double overtime win. Ish has a crazy weekend work schedule, so he didn't get to catch the entire game.
Facts.
But I will recap and you go up to what you saw. Because I don't know where you.
Because I had a great POV for. I had a great POV for real where I was watching. I think I got about to the fourth quarter. The game. So I didn't get when they were down. I think were they down 9 or 10 in the fourth. I wasn't
11,
there yet.
11, yeah.
Yeah, I was still like where it was a 1-score game.
Okay.
But you could see they were figuring it out. You could see they were getting comfortable blocking the front. They were getting trying to understand. Of course, this was post Travis getting hurt.
Right.
So before I stopped watching, we were in a group chat going crazy. It's better than soap operas. Like, it's almost like going to the movies. Like, it was so much drama everywhere. Like, even if you're not a big college football fan, literally, if you just tuned into that broadcast, you had a great time.
For real.
Because it was so much drama, and then Travis Hunter getting hurt, and the teams arguing. It was just amazing for real. Yeah, like, Prime, it's best nickname in sports.
For sure.
It's a reason he Prime. most streamed game ever versus Colorado State.
At 1 a.m. on the East Coast.
1 a.m.
That's crazy, bro.
It was, but up until then, it was a great game. I literally just tapped out. Like it was just awesome.
So I wanted to, and I almost did when they got down 11 in the fourth. I was like, oh my God, this is so sad because I am expecting them to lose to Oregon. We'll discuss that in a second.
Right,
but Oregon and USC are a much more formidable loss than Colorado State, especially after the week we had just had with this talking and all that.
You was plus 24
type shit. Like I predicted y'all to win 48-10. Stephen A. Smith predicted y'all to blow them out. Ish predicted y'all to blow them out. It was a blowout. We thought this was finna be a party.
Yeah,
and it come out. And they punch y'all in the mouth.
Yeah, nah.
They came prepared. Shout out to Coach Norvell over at Colorado State. Despite your comments, your team was prepared on the field, but not mentally, and that showed. And that damn near costed you the game. 17 penalties for like 180 something yards.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
It's absurd. It's absurd. Yeah. So it was truly, as it said, like a soap opera experience because you were sitting here and so I'll just take it from halftime. You guys know what happened already, so I'll take it from halftime. It's halftime and they're down, but it is looking like they have figured it out at halftime, and they're young. They needed to settle in, and we're going to come out of half, bust them in the mouth, go up 20-30, and we're going to be over with.
Yeah.
Colorado State wasn't having it.
Nope.
So I'm sitting back, and I'm in the fourth quarter, they down 11, and I'm like, all right, well, it's time for Vegas 1 in the morning, chilling. Like,
yeah, right. I'm going to go Medicaid. Let me
get
out of here.
Like, what in the world? And so if you remember in the fourth quarter or late in the third, they missed a field goal. Jay Philly's son, unfortunately, missed a field goal, and that was to get him within 8 originally. And then they got the ball back, and at this point, it was the second possession before the 98-yard possession where I knew Shedeur had the it factor, the intangible of a quarterback I am always talking about.
Right.
It was just it popped off the screen, the will to win, the determination to get them down this field. It was, you usually see him take a second before he takes off the run. It was none of that. It was like, all right, he's not there. I'm taking off. I got to get what I can get because we need this first down. And you can tell it was beautiful to really see that he is built for these moments. And as much as I think he is going to stay, he is NFL ready, bro. That second half he played was surgical. I've been using that word a lot for these quarterbacks, but it was truly just surgical. And you saw after they had got the ball, they had missed the field goal, like I said, he was driving down the field. He ran 3 or 4 times. Every throw was on time, and then the drive just stalled out at the end. I think it was due to a penalty. And they kick a field goal, 8-point game. They get a stop at midfield, punt 98 yards. As good of a point you could ask for as a coach at Colorado State.
Literally.
And it's less than 2 minutes left, and you just see it in his eyes like, nah, like this is what I do. And he said after the game, like they was like, what was you thinking? And it was like, Brady mode.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that when I woke up. I was very excited.
Like he was like, if he can do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
And for that mentality to be instilled in a 22-year-old quarterback, is just that's something you can't preach, you can't buy, you can't teach. Yeah. You just hope your kid, your quarterback has it, and he truly does. And every pass was on target. But what I wanted to get to was the deep ball that actually scored. Mm-hmm. The beauty in that is it is so easy because I keep reiterating these kids' ages. The pressure. Lil Wayne is in the box. Yeah. The Rock is on the sideline. Michael Irvin is there.
Yeah, it was a party.
T.O. is there. It's a party. Not only that, these people were in your locker room. You had Gilly and Master P and his kids and people in your locker room before the game. We'll talk about that in a second. But you had all of this pressure, and now you know the moment. You know the moment. And you know at this point, this crunch time, everybody watching you. Yeah. And for him to drop back on that play, barely across the 50, I think it was about 40-something seconds left. He dropped back, had I can't remember the exact play, but it was super similar to a post-wheel concept.
Right.
But I don't think it was a post-wheel. I think Joey's Horn Jr. had a fly, and they took the slot and took him on a post.
Right.
And the point of the play is they were sitting in cover 2 that whole drive, Colorado State was, which was a mistake by his coordinator. They were getting pressure on him all game, and that's where he seemed a little discouraged because that line can't hold up. So that's what you should have been doing, Colorado State. But they sat in that cover 2 hoping that it seemed like they got safe. Like they wanted to just make sure, like he's so good that if we run this blitz and we don't, they don't, what's the word? Shift. If the defense doesn't shift correctly, we got a wide open touchdown or something of that nature.
I forget the DN name for Colorado State, but they were really relying on him.
Kamara, yes,
to
Kamara.
a lot of the pressure really on himself.
And as the game got on, you saw him get hurt. He got hurt like 3 times after that. Like he kept coming out of the game and kept coming back in. So he was really hobbled. He was still in the game, but by then it was just kind of just like out there for his name, damn near.
Right.
And so what I was saying was in that cover 2, the job of the corner is to kind of sit and you call it the hard flat, and you have about 5 to 15 yards. It depends on how big, where you are in the field and things of that nature. About 5, 15, 20 yards. Right. You have that, and the safety has the deep quarter of the field, or deep half of the field. And the issue with cover 2 is if you have somebody coming across the middle and then another receiver coming across the drag, you leave the sideline wide open. Right. And that's the exact concept. Concept Colorado ran. And that brings us back to the point we made 2 weeks ago, which was their coaching was going to come into play in these big games. Exactly. And you said you're going to see them in a lot of games simply because of their coaching, and they scored on this play because of this play that was called. But back to Shedeur. In this moment, it is you go back to your fundamentals. Fact. That is what I was getting to. Yep. When I mentioned the moment and all the fascination that was going around this situation. When you get in those moments as a young player, as a young quarterback, you go to your fundamentals. So if your feet are usually bad, your feet are going to be bad. Yep. If when you're in a hurry or when you're scurry, you pat the ball before you throw a couple times when you're not supposed to, you're going to do that when you're in these type of pressure moments. Shedeur dropped back, took his 3-step drop, and shifted his legs, looked dead down the middle at that post. And as soon as that safety took a step in, he opened back up and threw a zip straight to Joey Horn in the corner, and he scored. And it was just, that's the play that lets you know he's NFL ready, because that's not a normal play that a quarterback makes on the college level. Exactly. And you saw on the Colorado State side, a quarterback that's not ready for the college level, which is really good. You saw the mistakes he started to make when the pressure started to build up on them. Exactly. And same with pretty much their entire roster.
Yeah. He started the game with a pick 6 too. Yeah.
So pretty much all of that to say, we get to overtime, and that's when you knew the game was over, because they got the ball, they won the toss, and they accepted, which you don't do in college. Right. You let them play. You play defense first to see what you need to get. Right. And Prime said, "I wanted the ball in Shedeur's hands." That's the type of coaching that you can't buy.
Insane.
Like, that's nuts. Yeah. To be like, my quarterback is so hot and I believe in this offense so much, I know they're gonna go score the ball. Yeah. I want to put the pressure on them, and they did. And then the second time they did, they went for 2, got the 2-point conversion, and then eventually their defense was gonna hold up, and they did that possession, man. And it was truly, like you said, a soap opera experience to watch people's reactions on Twitter and my reaction in my living room from 10 minutes up to the fourth quarter to the end of double overtime. It was just like you go from laying down to sitting up to in the TV to arm spray yelling, running through the house. Like, it was just like...
It's really crazy, because you talked about, like, especially the stuff on the field, like the stuff surrounding this game from both coaches, both teams. Somebody mentioned this, and I didn't really think about it till the game started and broke through that pick 6. Like, fam, the pressure you put on me to perform, like, if I'm the Colorado State QB, like, what is your problem, my nigga? Like, the pressure you just threw on me, bro. Like, yo, especially when the college game day started and you really felt that atmosphere, like them Colorado fans wanted blood. Like, they wanted to beat y'all by 50.
Bro, it was like 7 shows there on Saturday.
All day, too. The game started at 10. At 9 a.m., Coach Prime was handing out glasses. Like, Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith was there the entire day.
The entire weekend. They got there Friday. They recorded
crazy.
First Take there Friday, and then I think they appeared on something, or Stephen A. did. So College Game Day was there. Big Noon South, our big noon kickoff, which is College Game Day for Fox. Yeah. They were there, and then it was like a radio show there. A couple First Take was there. It was ridiculous. The Rock was there. I don't know where he came from. Pat McAfee. It was just so much. Lil Wayne performed. It was like, what is going? Like, where are y'all?
Nah, Wayne
How
came
big
out,
is this camp?
Wayne came out like he was finna play. Like,
bro,
Wayne
and then Wayne walked him out.
Yeah,
that was like I've never seen anything like that.
Wayne came out like he was finna put on a jersey too. Like
he had on a jersey.
He had on like the pads. Like Wayne came out like he was gonna play slide. Like he looked focused, bro.
Bro, that was crazy, dog.
Nah.
Like coming out to Sky and the Limit, walking out by like at that age, that's your hove. Like that's your goat. It's him and Ye. Like so, it's just like for that to be happening.
That's crazy.
And it's just too much. And then on the sideline, you got the Rock. Like I said, I named everybody. I keep saying the Rock because it's like why is the Rock?
Though. No, but
that's Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
The Rock in Boulder. That's the name of this episode. The Rock in Boulder. That's hard.
There you go.
Shout out to Rock.
So shout out to y'all that witnessed that.
But last thing on Colorado, you mentioned the game on the drive. You mentioned him going Brady mode, and I want to flip the other side because you did like such a great job breaking down like what happened in the inning game. For a normal guy, the pressure coming out on this 98-yard drive. We were a 24-point favorite. We've been talking trash all week. It's been personal, and now it's on me. And for some guys, that's the best thing possible. For some guys, they are walking out like that. This is what I want. This is the opportunity. It's in my hands. To some other guys, they are coming out there shaking. They are coming out there like, why me, bro? And you can see the difference instantly in Shador. I love it. I like the chippiness of it. The late hit on Travis, I kind of feel both sides. Like, is it a dirty hit? Absolutely. Is it a late hit? Absolutely. Everything you want to say to him? Absolutely. But at the same time, listen, I grew up in early 2000s football. I'm a Patriots fan.
Hey, bro.
Listen, y'all been talking that shit all week. Travis Hunter, you was talking shit to me before the game. You better keep your head on the swivel, nigga.
It's like, as the Colorado fan and me so hurt, I am like distraught. He can't play against Oregon and USC.
That's a fact.
That is making me so sad. Yeah. But like on the flip side, bro, I played this game, bro. Like if you gonna talk, like you gotta be prepared for what's coming after that. Y'all talking before the game all week, then you get to the game and y'all talking shit, warming up, about the fight warming up, and it's just like,
you called me trash 45 minutes ago.
And I can't even. It's a dirty hit for sure. Don't get me
1,000,000%.
I'm not saying.
It's so dirty because the CB's holding him. That's what made it so dirty for me.
He couldn't brace.
He literally could not move. Like you couldn't brace it. You couldn't back up or anything. It's like the DB's like holding him up as a target. Yes. And it's so dirty. But like you said.
But like he didn't go for his head. Like that would have been been crazy. Like if he would have went for his head, dove at his something like that. God forbid. But like that didn't happen. He went for his stomach, and like originally I thought he just got the wind knocked out of him, and he was gonna be back in a couple places.
I really thought he broke.
And then when he left, I thought it was a rib. And now they're saying it has something to do with his liver. I don't know how true that is. Prime hasn't said an injury. I've just heard his liver, so I'm not really sure what his injury is.
They said a lacerated liver, which could happen. Like, the whiplash in your body, like getting hit that fast. He could have scraped his liver or something, like probably the inside of his rib. But the minute he hit him, I knew he was done. Yeah, because I was hoping nothing wasn't broke, because he hit the ground. You knew immediately something was wrong.
Bro, he like screamed. You could tell audibly, like you could see that he was screaming.
Yeah, he tagged him, but that's such a dirty play.
Such a dirty play. But I just real quick, lastly on the Oregon point. Yeah. This game gets a lot less interesting for me without Travis Hunter on the field. Right. And that's not like I'm gonna watch the game from start to finish. Of course, sure. I'm still interested in the movement and everything, but competitively, I just don't know how much that defense can hold up without him on that field.
Facts.
The offense is going to be fine.
Right.
Joey Horn Jr. is the real deal. Dylan Edwards is the real deal. And I'm missing the number 10. They're the real deal. Like, they can play. Facts. That offense is going to move the ball. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about, though, is that defense holding up, because you're not going to really get too much pressure on Bo Nix. So you're going to need your coverage to make plays. And that is where he comes in. We always speak about like having a side of the field that you just don't got to worry about. Yeah. Like, I can focus all my attention on these number 2 and 3 receivers or whatever. Like, it's just going to take so much away from them. And it's going to look way worse against Caleb Williams.
I was going to say, especially versus Caleb.
Against Caleb Williams, the way he's able to improvise, the way he's able to extend plays, like, you really need somebody on that side of the ball
for real.
That understands that side of the ball. Like, that's his cheat code at corner we like to speak about, is just like knowing, all right, if this is happening with the quarterback, the receiver is going to do this, so I can go ahead and do that type shit. So you running routes for receivers basically, and they're going to miss him doing that. But I do think Oregon will stay in. I think they will stay in the game with Oregon. I think Oregon will win, but I think it'll be a good game.
I think they got a chance against Oregon just because I don't trust Bo Nix decision making too much. But with Oregon, he kind of don't make too many decisions.
Exactly.
So that's why you like having Travis out there, because like Bo Nix make 2 mistakes, Travis can make one of those like a problem for him. So hate to see that, but last thing, I guess, before we move off Colorado, because I like how we kind of always open with Colorado. Yeah. But he was on First Take, and I really don't watch too many, like, straight through First Take segments, well, pre-Shannon Sharp, but I watched the one where he was coming on, he was talking about Jay Norvell, and they was talking about the program, and he said what we was saying. He said, man, I'm about 6 or 7 dogs away. Mm-hmm. And then, this is why Coach Rob, so, listen, we love Coach Rob here. He looked at the camera. He said, I ain't hard to find. I ain't hard to find now. And I know they're watching that at home. Like, yeah.
Oh, did you hear that he said, like, his calls, like, every day?
Yeah.
Like, can't stop him from criminal. The recruiting calls.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Bro.
Next year's going to look – I said it. Bro, I said after that TCU game. Really, I thought this at halftime. If we could have done a halftime pod, you would have heard it. Like, I said, at halftime of that TCU game, I said they're winning the championship next year.
Yeah.
Once I saw they were able to compete, I said everybody that's a skill position player is going to be there next year. They're going to get probably one more freak athlete or two. Yeah. They might get old boy from USC, number 1, I think it's Zacchaeus, I think his name is. Yeah. The short, fast freshman. If Caleb is leaving, you don't like the future, the direction they're going. Come on. Yep. Like, and Prime going to use you how you need to be used. Right. And then, like you said, he just needs some churches. He need 3 linemen. He need 3 linemen and 5 or 6 defensive linemen. It's a wrap.
See, that's what I think is going to happen, what you mentioned to the end. I think he's going to get a crazy defensive line. Because I think that's the only – because it's hard to build a whole defense in college, especially because how many turnover you have. But if you can get 2 classes of elite D linemen, it can carry your whole defense, because you're going to get good DBs because you're Deion Sanders. You're going to get good on the back end. If you have people where you could let's just rush for them, and you're going to get pressured the whole game, I think that's –
You'll ruin a college kid life.
Yeah.
You'll ruin them college quarterbacks. You got to remember that. Bro, and then you in the Pac-12. So you just going to ruin – unless you facing the Caleb Williams type talent, you're going to ruin a lot of quarterbacks' days type shit. Right. So, but –
Buffs on. That's our Colorado segment for the day.
I got to get some buffs for the season. Even if
I'm going to get some fake ones.
Yeah, that's what we going to get some fake Stonecrest.
Hey, listen, Deion did 1.2 in sunglasses. He did 1.2 that week in sunglasses. Hey, send us some nothing ATL shit,
please,
man. Let me know.
Please. I'm not afraid to beg, twin. So, let's get into it, man. The greatest sport in the world.
It's nothing like football.
Just forget I said that, basketball. So let's start with the Chiefs and the Jags. Our 1:00 game of the week. First off, which games did you watch? Because I know we kind of do the 4-quick screen, split screen. So which games would you keep an eye on? It's a few games I watch every snap of, and then it's a few games I
watched every snap of a couple games because I was working. So, but I did have the quad box up. I watched all the Chiefs Jags game. I always get the times mixed up.
I think most of this is in order.
Yeah, I watched the Chiefs Jags game. I watched all the Commanders game because I was big on the Commanders. I really watched almost all the games for real because I'll have like 3 games up and then I'll have the red zone going too. So
okay.
anything that happens, like I'll
You
see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the games that I watched in full were the Chiefs and Jags, the Falcons, Packers, the Ravens. Who did they play? Ravens, Bengals,
Yeah.
and the Bills, Raiders, and then most of the Seahawks and Lions.
Okay.
So those are the games like I really were paying attention to. In the 1 o'clock slate, I watched the whole 49ers Ram games, the whole past Dolphins games.
Oh, and of course the Eagles game on Thursday.
Yeah, of course the Eagles game.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
But so we'll start with the Chiefs Jags. That was kind of an interesting matchup for me because this was really like a weird situation for the Chiefs because you're kind of worried about the offense just a little bit due to the lack of pass catching. How much can Travis Kelce carry you at this age? I mean, you know playoff time what you're going to get, but how much pressure do you want to put on him?
Coming off his injury.
Coming off his injury. It's early in the season. Like he's 34, 33. So I was really interested to see how they attacked the Jaguars defense. So what did you see and were you surprised by the outcome? Okay, let's phrase that because we're never surprised by the Chiefs winning. Are you surprised at the way the Jags struggled offensively? That's a better question.
Absolutely. So I thought the way the Chiefs won was very worrisome for the rest of the league. I'll say that.
Okay.
Because they're winning without blowing you out offensively. Mm-hmm. And their defense was super young. They had a bunch of new contributors to their defense. So last year there was a bunch of moving parts. You didn't really know what you were getting from their defense. Some games they, play amazing. Mm-hmm. Other games they get exposed. But with Steve Spagnuolo now, they have two great linebackers. Nick Bolton's playing amazing at middle linebacker. Justin Reed's playing great at safety to replace a Honey Badger. And their corners are playing out of their mind. I really like what I saw from their defense. But I was more so surprised at how the Jags really struggled, which is weird to say, like, because they're going against the Chiefs defense, but it didn't feel like they were being outmatched talent-wise. Mm-hmm. It looked like they were being out-schemed most of the day.
Okay.
It looked like Steve Spagnuolo had the one up on him. And whether or not this is a trend between the Eagles and – not the Eagles – the Doug Peterson and Steve Spagnuolo, because you really just saw them in the playoffs and just beat the doors off them. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if that's a trend to watch for Jacksonville, but I was very a little worried about what's going on in Jacksonville because, like, that was a really bad game. Okay. I got Trevor Lawrence in fantasy like that. Like, not even just, like, selfishly, like, I was more surprised at how bad he actually played. Okay. Because game-wise, game management choices he made, it wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't mistakes being, like, it was literally the throws we were making just weren't open. Like, plays just weren't working. So that's where I was more surprised.
Okay, so for me, I'll go to the Chiefs. I agree with you. I love how you opened that. This is scary for the rest of the league if we can win 17-9 consistently. Yeah. Because that means our defense is performing as we need them to be, especially with this offense. This is a great offense. The Jets have a great offense.
They didn't score a touchdown.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. 9 points held them under 10, no touchdowns. That's crazy. So I want to give this game ball to Steve Spagnuolo because, like you said, it's not like their defense, similar to the Bengals last year, have any crazy names other than Chris Jones. You did see the effect of Chris Jones with them not being able to run the ball as much this year. They had 66 yards total, or 74 yards of total rushing, and their main running back, ETN, only had 40 yards carried, 3.3 average. So that means Chris Jones came back, made an impact, but that's, like I said, back to Spagnuolo, it seemed, as you said, Trevor never got comfortable. Right. And when you can make an elite quarterback second-guess his normal quick decisions, you usually got the game won. Yeah. Flipping to the offense, it's a work in progress, and it looks like that. Yeah. But when you have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce, I trust that trio enough to have it figured out by week 7, week 8, week 10 to put their players in a position to where they're not making the mistakes you saw Kadarius Toney make. And I'm not gonna harp too much on that because it was one game, the first game of the season. But just as an example, those things you won't see happening as we get closer to playoff time with the Chiefs. Right. Is kind of
and he played better. He played a lot better in week 2. I mean, it was almost impossible to play worse. But he definitely played better. And I hate to be this guy. People are gonna roll their eyes. People hate when I say this, but Andy Reid's not gonna show you in week 2 the bag for real.
Facts.
Like he's not gonna dig deep into the bag week 2 because he don't have to. So as the season progresses and they play better opponents and they get more consistency with personnel packages, working Travis Kelce right back in, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. So I feel like a perfect transition from this is the Commanders.
Yeah.
Because you watched the game more than I did. Yeah. I watched a good bit of it, but I want you to discuss what Eric Bieniemy has done for this offense.
Listen,
because they are putting up points in a hurry, and it looks like they are making Sam Howell look opposite of Trevor Lawrence this week. Very comfortable. He looks super comfortable in what they're doing, what they're asking him to do, the throws they're asking him to make.
So let's take it back to when EB first got there. A lot of us were confused by the move. Mm-hmm. A lateral move. You're leaving Patrick Mahomes. You're leaving Andy Reid. It still sounds crazy to say out loud. But my biggest question was, is Sam Howell gonna be able to do what you're gonna ask him to do? Because a lot of that in that system is being ready to be like, fuck it. Like, I got to let this rip. And every snap I've seen from Sam Howell, who absolutely – oh, my God. Who are they playing? I'm tweaking on the name.
Broncos.
You said Broncos? Yeah, it was the Broncos. He was the best quarterback on the field. Easy. Of course, quick shade at Russ. I hate you. But he has – first, he's super tough.
Right.
So he is willing – well, it may be, young legs, young body. He's willing to sit back there and take that hit so I can make that throw. And also – very quick memory, very short memory, and he has the arm talent to make these throws. So early, when we were doing our predictions, we were a little higher on the Commanders than a lot of people because great defensive line, and they have weapons everywhere. Scary Terry is amazing. Jahan Dawson's amazing. They have weapons everywhere on offense. Brian Robinson's better than people think. So they are able to not ask Sam Howell to insert himself into the game at everywhere like you would need usually a great quarterback. So what he can do is take those chances, make those risks, and take those risks because sometimes you need to.
Right.
Like you throw it into double coverage. It may be a good throw, but when Terry McLaurin catches it for a touchdown, it is a good throw. And that's the thing that Eric Bieniemy brought to the team. And I'm so happy they're 2-0. And you don't see it on TV. You're not going to see anybody talk about it because a month ago this time, you're like, he's so mean at practice. I can't play like this. He keeps making us run the same reps. This is why. This is what elite football looks like. And this is what you have to do to get to this level because above all else, they're executing. That is the biggest thing I like to see in young teams. New offense, new situation is of course we can have the plays. Are we buying in? Are we doing all that? But when it comes down to the plays that we need, do you know your assignment? And are you the right person to execute it? And with a talent like Eric Bieniemy, you can tell he knows who he wants to have what. Everybody has their roles. Everybody knows what they need to do. And they're prepared to, when we need to put up all these points, we can do it. And this D-line is going to keep us in a lot of games because if you're scoring the way they are, you're playing with leads. So Deron Payne, Chase Young, all these dogs can get off the ball. They can play aggressive. And the back end of your defense, definitely not amazing, but a pass rush and a great offense can take you really far in the NFL. They're really a couple pieces away.
All right, so everything you said, that's perfect. Like, that is perfect. Yeah. I just wanted to point out, before I get to the Broncos and the disappointment that I have in them, Sam Howell was 299, 2 touchdowns. Brian Robertson was 18 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Sam completed a pass to 10 different receivers. Yeah. And 9 of those receivers had multiple receptions. That is... Back to my keyword, surgical. That is how you execute. That tells me without watching the game. Well, I watched the game, but if I didn't watch the game, I could tell they didn't have a lot of negative plays and they didn't make a lot of mistakes. Right. It seems quick. It seems efficient just by looking at the stats. And I did watch the game, and I'll just flip to the Broncos because you covered them perfectly. Yeah. I will add that I will emphasize how important their defense is. Their defense is phenomenal, and it's going to carry them in the moments they struggle, and they won't struggle often with Eric Bieniemy back there. But on the flip side with the Broncos, you're 0-2. You're off to a terrible start. The beauty in this is most of the AFC is off to a bad start.
Yep.
And your division is off to a bad start.
Facts.
Raiders 1-1.
Chiefs 1-1.
Chiefs 1-1.
Chargers
0-2. You guys are 0-2.
Yeah.
So what I will say for the Broncos is, and this may be a week 6 revelation that Sean Payton has.
Yeah.
We gotta stop acting like Russ is elite. It's gotta stop. And I mean that very respectfully. Like, not in like a, oh my God, stop talking about him like he's elite on sports media. No, I mean genuinely, we have to stop treating him schematically as if he is an elite quarterback. And it's too much on his plate from my POV. And now I could be wrong, and they can be making this as simple as possible, and he's just not executing. And it's like they may need to make a change in a few years, but nobody's going to take that contract. So, So that is all I really have to say about the Broncos is, one, their defense has to step up. Their defense, the lack of pass rush is making their secondary look bad because Sam Howell did have all day. Second half that I watched, and I did watch the comeback, they came back down for 21, which is also something you love to see from a young quarterback.
Facts.
But they did not get a pass rush on him, and that is hurting their secondary as good as it is. And secondly, like I said, Russ is just not elite anymore. They don't really have that much of a run game, and that is going to hurt them because you can't ask Russ to drop back 30 times anymore,
right?
40 times anymore, and expect to win the game every week. You might be in the game, but you can't expect to win it. So and he had 308 for three touchdowns, which is good. And I'm not saying that he can't play football anymore. Right. I am saying he can't be elite anymore. Right. And that is the issue. You need to simplify this offense even more, and I think you need to run the ball. Your leading rusher had 12 carries. All in all, trying to add this up real quick, it looks like you had, not including Russ's carries, you had about 15 carries, 16 carries. Yeah. That's not enough. But you need to be running the ball 20 to 25 times a game and letting Russ drop back 28 to 30 times a game. And if you see as a season is progressing, he gets more comfortable, then you can up that number. But right now, he still isn't looking comfortable, and I don't think you guys, it looks better for you this week. You play upcoming, you have the Dolphins.
Yeah, so this is why I know you're right. This is why I know you're right, because I saw something very interesting. Because listen, I love to hate on Russ, so I'm going to hate on him a little more, even though you just hit him. But they were talking to Sean Payton about the plays. He said, if we got to put the wristband on, we'll put the wristband on, nigga. And what that tells me is he's struggling with the new offense, which is understandable. This is week 2, one of the most complicated and deep offenses ever. But you're not executing. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about Washington, everyone knowing their assignments, knowing their roles. That is because they are executing. Russ is struggling to get the play in, struggling to get to stuff like that. Like you said, those are not elite quarterback problems. Mm-hmm. You don't, as bad as the Bengals are right now, we'll get to them. You're not hearing Joe Burrow be confused. Like Justin Herbert, they're just as bad. We'll talk about that. We're not seeing that from Justin Herbert where if we got to put the wristband on, we'll put the wristband on. And if you need the wristband, it should already be on, Russ. Why you not wearing it already?
It's not even like you be dripped out like RG3 was or like Cam was.
You got no drip on the field.
No drip on. Put the fucking.
You got no drip on the field. And what is more frustrating for Denver Broncos fans, because amazingly I do know a Denver Bronco fan, but you can tell it's not the coaching anymore. Because the game plan plays all worked. Okay. And that is why you jump out to such a big lead. Mm-hmm. You could see the game plan, especially early in the game, where it was, okay, Russ knows I'm dropping back, I'm hitting it here, and he's catching the ball 3-4 yards of space. There was a touchdown like that. There was a couple of deep throws down the field where you can see Sean Payton jumping off the screen where we're more prepared. This is a great defense, but I have these plans. Where you pay $250 for these superstar quarterbacks, where you're supposed to be the superstar quarterback is, man, the game plan put up all these yards, all these touchdowns. It's the fourth quarter. We need this. Mm-hmm. We need you to be able to elevate, make these plays, do stuff that I can't have someone else do.
10% of the time, you need to make your offensive coordinator. The rest of the time, he's going to do it for you. Literally. It's the 10% that the elite quarterbacks get their offensive coordinator paid.
You can see the frustration from Sean Payton because, man, listen, that $250, I think, does it kick in next year? Or is it this year?
I think it started this year. I'm pretty sure last year the Seahawks were.
You're getting Mahomes. That's what I be telling my quarterbacks. You want to, and we'll talk about Burrow later because Burrow, you got something coming to you too. But Burrow, Herbert, if Lamar were to start losing, even though he was 75% of games, probably never going to do that. But if Lamar started losing, Deshaun Watson, I come into the meeting room and be like, you know how much Patrick Mahomes makes? Because that's what you make. You think I would have to call plays like this from Mahomes? No, I would not. Like, it's ridiculous the situation some of these teams are in. Cause, bruh, I just don't see it with Russ for real. And it was such a sad day, I think, in general. Like, cherry on top was the wristband thing. To see the difference between Sam Howell and Russell Wilson. Where it was like, man, it might be time. Where you don't think he's bad, or like I don't think he's bad where he's gonna retire next year or he couldn't play if he wanted to. It was more like, man, I remember when I was him. I remember when Russ was that guy. Mm-hmm. The guy who would take the chance, who would roll out the pocket, who would take the hit to try to make the big play. I don't see it with Russ. And everything we thought it would be, Sean Payton's tried. They said, man, let's move the pocket. Didn't work. Let's try, he was like throwing up, down the middle of the field. Let's try getting him up the sideline. It worked, but when it was time, it didn't work. So it's very frustrating in Denver, especially because, like, the defense kind of can't carry it right now.
Yeah.
The defense isn't getting that pass rush. It's hard to keep great defensive players when we would have went to the playoffs if y'all scored 17 a game, but we didn't. So I don't get that playoff bonus. So that's $200K out my pocket that should be there because my quarterback making $250 guaranteed ain't do his job. So maybe I'll go over here. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. It's hard to get people to buy in. Like, you know who I bet frustrated? PS2. I guarantee PS2 frustrated.
Facts.
Because, bro, like, we need more.
Yeah.
And Rush just really isn't doing it. And it's a lot of QBs right now, early in the year struggling. We can transition this into the other AFC West team, the Chargers.
Yeah. I told you.
Go ahead, piss Robio.
I want to stop right here.
Piss Robio.
And shout out to Robio, bro. I want to stop right here real quick and just say that when we were speaking about these quarterbacks, because I know people like come in comments and be like, yell numbers. Yeah. We're not talking about first through the third quarters. Yeah. We know these quarterbacks can execute, especially as we get to talk about Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson and Joe Burrow, the guys that have done it and we have seen put up these numbers. It's not the numbers are cute. We know you can do that. It is about the execution late in game, and as we said, the times you have to make your offensive coordinator look good. What are you doing in those moments? Right. And those are more specifically what we're talking about, just so you guys can kind of step into it.
And listen, if y'all don't know, this show is about championships. This show is about championships. We don't care what you're doing in week 2, week 3, week 4. Really, like if you really hear like how we're breaking down the way we would expect their coaches to break it down because their goals are championships too. Like the things you get away with right now that are cool because Justin Herbert had a bunch of passing yards. You're not beating elite teams with that. And that is the thing we're talking about. Like, I more so want to prepare you as a fan to understand why your team won't win anything this year.
Thank you.
And that is why. You may be a good team. You may be a great quarterback. In the Chargers case, you may have nice jerseys, 2 great D linemen, 2 great DBs, 2 great wide receivers, 2 great tight ends, a running back who has all the touchdowns in the last 3 years, and a quarterback throwing for 4,000 yards. But it's not enough.
In a simpler way, we're telling you why your team is good but not great.
Exactly.
That is what our role is. So,
exactly.
To Justin Herbert and why.
Yeah.
Very similar to what I just said about Russ, Justin Herbert doesn't seem to be able to play off script very well.
Yeah.
It seems like when he has the play and he has this read and he needs to make this throw, he can do that.
Right.
And it's not a throw he's going to miss. He's not going to be inaccurate. He's not going to be a second off. He's not going to be high. Nope. He's not going to be low. He is going to be an accurate, perfect pass. But it seems like when it's time to get off script, he's not comfortable. Bring it back to that word. He's not very comfortable when he does that. And that is what scares me about Justin. And I have been saying since the end of last season, he is a Matt Ryan. He is Matt Ryan, and there's nothing wrong with
Matt
that.
Ryan won an MVP.
Matt Ryan won an MVP. Justin Herbert has an MVP in his future.
Right.
For him to win a Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl, it's going to take a 2016 Matt Ryan year where the defense finally came together. Yep. Your star receiver had one of his best years. You got the perfect coordinator for you.
Yeah.
You had a good coach. That is what it's going to take. Justin Herbert isn't Patrick Mahomes, where not everything has to go right for this to succeed. I will, honest to God, throw Josh Allen in that category, even though he goes, impulsive now. The reason he has to is because there's so much on his shoulders. Right. And he has carried them to 13 wins in the AFC Championship or the division round every single year. So I will even say he is able to shoulder as much weight. You don't want him to, but he is able to do it better than Justin Herbert can. And that is what I think Justin Herbert is falling in the trap is people are expecting a lot out of him because of the talent, but he is not able to produce that. He needs the good defense. He needs the good head coach. He has a good offensive coordinator now, but now he needs the head coach that can game manage for him, that can call the timeouts when it's needed, that can tell the defense, hey, we need this stop here, and they're able to talk to the defensive coordinator and talk and get in the right scheme. Same thing with the offense. Hey, 2-minute drill. We need an offensive a head coach we trust to do that. Brandon Staley's not that guy. He needs to get out of there. And then we need to stop playing and thinking the names on the defense matter and get a coordinator in there. If that's an issue, we need to get a coordinator in there that can generate a pass rush because that can be schematically done. We need a quarterback. We need a coordinator that can put our corners in the right position to where we're not giving up big plays all the time. People aren't driving down the field on us at will. Last year, 27-point comeback. That's not easy to do, bro. Like that's so hard to give up 27 points.
27-point comeback, no turnovers. Because that's 4 punts. You punted the ball 4 times. Like when Deshaun gave up the lead versus the Chiefs, it was it's egregious. First, Patrick Mahomes, but let's throw that out. Okay, it was a failed 4th down conversion. You can't control that. Mm-hmm. It was a fumble and a punt. Mm-hmm. You can't control that. No. They kicked you the ball 4 times, and you could not score. You couldn't put up a field goal. And that's my biggest problem with Justin Herbert. And I saw it week 1, and when it happened week 1, of course, nobody's going to say it, but it jumped off the screen at me because Vic Fangio, Dolphins defense coordinator, doesn't like blitzing, likes keeping 2 high safeties, did it the whole game. Justin Herbert prepared. The plays were working the whole game, passing the ball, scoring. People tell me his numbers. And I said, okay, you got the ball kicked to you with 2 minutes left, 1:30 left, whatever.
Why didn't you go score?
Down 2. And you didn't go score. And people can't understand why they didn't. And every time I explain it to them, they're confused. But I'll say it one more time. Vic Fangio, something he does never do. So you know what? I'm just going to send 2 heaters at you. 2 non-game plan specific plays that you are not prepped for at the line of scrimmage. You are not prepped for post-play that you would have to make a play out of. Got nothing out of both plays. Game over. 4th and 35. Because he's not that guy. And that is okay. Everybody's not that guy. This is why I love watching, because this is one of my favorite. This was one of my games I watched this week that was amazing too, was watching the difference between Tua and Justin Herbert, because Tua is not bigger than him, not stronger than him, don't got a better arm, maybe more accurate, but not a better downfield passer. But first, he out there with full support from head coach, wide receiver, everyone in there, because it went the other way for a while, is 100% in on Tua, and everything Mike McDaniel does is to keep him comfortable. And that's the difference between, sorry, Brandon Staley, that's the difference between having a defensive coach, which is amazing because y'all defense has been trash since you've been there, and an offensive coach, where everything you're doing as a coach now, from 2023 on, and you're going to see this as these coaches, I don't want to say die out, but like stay coordinators, is, are you an offensive coach or not? Because our franchise is the quarterback. The times where you would get a defensive coach and pair him with a superstar quarterback and just let the superstar quarterback figure it out, that don't work with everybody.
Defenses are too good no more. They're too good now.
They're too good, and it don't work with everybody, bro. Tom Brady, he more Super Bowls than any team. He went 10 years without winning one trying to do that. Because it's hard. It's really hard. You need that help. You need offensive help. And a lot of these QBs, listen, all you QBs, except for Mahomes, y'all not better than Tom Brady. Y'all can't do this on your own. You need an offensive, innovative coach that can make it easy for you, even if it's in short stretches of the game. Like Tua having a play that they can run 9 times a game to keep you comfortable, keep you in good down and distance, keep you in good situations is so much more important than, okay, we're going to run the ball now because, we got a new offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. It's so different. And you see it with Herbert where the talent's there, the arm's there, everything you need is there. But, above all else, listen, we gave y'all a lot of football analysis. He just ain't got that dog in him, bro. He just ain't got that dog in him,
That's
bro.
what it comes down to. And I want y'all to know I'm so for real about that, Twins. Like,
he's so
the
nice.
Dog in you as a quarterback is so important. Yep. That's why if we had a draft, I would take Matt Ryan in before him because Matt Ryan wasn't playing around.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, a little dog.
Matt Ryan had a dog in him, bro. Like he just couldn't exexecute all the time as you need him to. But he had tried. The dog, and he tried. You wasn't ever gonna question his effort, his will to win, nothing. Yeah. I'm gonna say this as long as we talk about Justin Herbert. That going to the sideline, not talking to nobody, sitting by you with your coach, and being all quiet, not talking to your teammates, all of that, being shy from the camera. I hate that. Yeah. I don't want that from the guy that's supposed to be my franchise. Yeah. My star running back can act like that. My star receiver, I prefer him to act like that with the defense. But my star quarterback, I want him vocal. I want him loud. I want you more Cam Newton and T.O. than I want you Justin Herbert. Right. That is what I'll say. I'll take the press that comes with it. I'll take the annoying, the headlines that come with it, the Aaron Rodgers of the world, the polarizing, the always have something to say. Those quarterbacks I will take because I know I'm getting a dog. I know I'm getting somebody that thinks they got it all, that thinks they can do everything. That guy, the thing where we talk about where running quarterbacks think they can make every play, I will take that over the safe guy.
I'm so glad you said that because we mentioned Josh Allen too, and we're gonna hit the Bills in a second. They beat the Raiders,
killed the Raiders. Yeah, beat them. They beat the dog shit out of the Raiders.
They put the training wheels back on Josh Allen too. But I would 1,000% would rather walk in here today, like, man, Justin Herbert, you might have been a little too aggressive today. Mm-hmm. You have never, ever said to yourself, man, Justin Herbert, you might have to dial it back.
Yeah.
With that arm.
Yeah.
With those receivers.
Yeah.
I would rather you be making these, man, give my guy a chance, please. Mm-hmm. Let me, this may be, it may be great job on the defense, but we got dogs too.
Right.
Let me push the envelope. Let me make these plays. And you mentioned the Cams, you mentioned the TOs, but the thing that bothers me so much about a lot of these younger quarterbacks is, you model like Brady, Manning, they kind of were the mold, but people forget how much dog was on the sideline in them. Where Peyton used to run practice. He wasn't letting the coach run practice. Peyton used to walk in the locker room, get the skill position together. We going, get dressed, and would have his own practice done by the time team practice started. That's not something quiet people do, bro.
Come on, man.
Tom Brady and Bill Belichick hated each other. You know what kept him there? That dog. Where this is mine. This whole offense, mine. Him and Bill O'Brien, one of the most famous arguments on the sideline ever. Tom Brady wrong. He just threw a pick. He don't care. He a dog. Like, he telling him come back to the ball. Nigga, like, what are you doing?
Thank you.
You gotta need that in you because, bro, this is a contact sport. This is a physical sport. And at the end of the day, it may not be fair. We say this all the time. Life not fair. As a QB, you're a leader of men. And teams take on the identity of their QB or best player. Derwin James can't be the face of the Chargers, bro. Keenan Allen can't be the most outspoken player on that offense. And if they were a run-heavy team, Austin Eckler, he a quiet guy, that may be different. That's not Nick Chubb back there, bro. You're not putting the ball in Austin Eckler's hands like, okay,
like take us to the promised land.
Yeah, because I'm paying you too much for that. Like, teams are, your identity is who your quarterback is. And I think we said this last week, bro. They just got no juice, bro. They got no juice. They got no, I don't want to say they got no drip. They ain't got no drip. And as embarrassing as it is, just cherry on top. You play 17 road games.
You don't even got a home field of
road
games. You don't got a home field advantage, dog.
Like we going silent count at the home stadium? It's embarrassing, bro.
It's embarrassing, bro. So,
flip side,
someone positive. We've been in a lot of negative. Let's go to Josh Allen because we killed Josh Allen last week, and he deserves the praise this week. Right. Real shit.
Facts.
So we can be here quick because there's nothing to say about the Raiders. That was pitiful, piss poor performance.
Yeah, shout out to T.
Josh Allen, though.
Yeah, I like it.
So put the trailing wheels back on. So we're going to go short and we're going to quick.
Yep.
When you throw it to Stephon Diggs, he's going to be wide open. When you throw it to Gabe Davis, he's going to be wide open. We're going to give you your chances to run. Be smart when you run. And the beauty of all of this and the reason they were able to do this, James Cook.
Exactly.
Over 100 yards. I don't know when the fuck the last time Buffalo had a 100-yard rusher, dog. But it was really, you saw how important a run game could be for him. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Josh Allen. Excellent performance. Yep. I hope they build on this. I hope they saw things they like and they can go back to and work in the deep shots as we go on with the season. Right. But if Josh Allen plays this way, he is every bit of deserving of that top 2, top 3 name tag we want to put on him, and he is every deserving of the favorite of MVP in the AFC Championship we want to put on him. He is deserving of that if he is able to play like this every week. The problem is we don't know if he can.
See, this is the thing about Josh Allen, and you're going to like this. Josh Allen's become the Anthony Davis of football. Because when Josh Allen is locked in, Josh Allen, top 2 in the league, maybe. He might be the best player in the league. Aside from Mahomes, might be the best player in the league. On every field he step on. Locked in, yeah. But the problem is, he get locked out. But, coming off a great game, we're not even going to hate on you. I like the self-control you had had the lowest depth of target out of everybody this week. But you were accurate. You were on time. You were scheme. You were everything you needed to be in the Jets game. Like, you could see the adjustments made. We're a better team. We're going to play with a lead. I don't need to put on the cape. I don't need to do this. So we're just going to take here, dink, run the ball, be a really good physical team. Matt Milano was everywhere. Friend of the show, played amazing. On his way to another all-pro year at middle linebacker. But I liked everything I saw. Vegas, we're just going to hit this quick. Listen, we don't know what's going on in Vegas right now. When we find out what's going on in Vegas, we will return. I don't know what's going on in Vegas right now, so we're just going to lead out. I don't want to touch y'all. I don't know what's going on, but there's something going on in Las Vegas.
I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I don't know, and until I know, we won't speak.
It's something going on in Vegas right now.
The only thing I know about Vegas is that boy Devontae has not lost a rep.
He ain't lost
a goddamn rep.
I've never seen Devontae lose a rep. Like, it's crazy. Shout out to Devontae, bro.
So, real quick to the home team, very, very good win for them. I liked what I saw from the Packers. I put out a tweet before the game and picked all the games. Not all of them, but I picked 6 games. Went 6-0. Yeah, we know what we're talking about up here.
And I got y'all some free money. Y'all parlay that.
Come on, man. At the last minute, so when we had the show on Thursday, the one that's on audio, go get that, like, subscribe, comment, boom. But when I made our picks then, I said the Packers would win this game. Saturday, it was announced that Aaron Jones was no longer playing, and that completely changed my mind because he was such a pivotal part of their offense week 1. He pulled his little hammy at the end of the game, so I think he'll probably be out a week or 2. And that changed everything for me because of how good that pass rush was. I knew Jordan Love wasn't ever going to get too comfortable, and they didn't drop him back too much, only 25 attempts, only 14 completions, but I knew they weren't going to want to just give him the keys, and you saw at the end of the game where he had a chance to get about 40, 50 yards and get a field goal. He couldn't do it. Couldn't even get a yard. On the flip side of the Falcons, I love the way you guys are trying to win games because it's the only way you're going to be able to win games. I think Ritter will get more comfortable and more poised as the season comes on. He makes a lot of rookie plays. They should have lost this game. I'm not going to lie. He had 3 picks. I'm not going to say they should have lost, but he had 3 picks that were dropped. And I don't know how that flips the game, but not great. He had 2 picks that was in hands,
oh my God.
How did you drop that?
Jair is untouched walking into the end zone. Jair scores that, nobody gets close to him.
Yes. And then he had a third one that was bad, could have been picked. So, but other than that, Behan is the best running back in football. He is the best running back in football, and not only that, he is one of the best just playmakers in football already. He is that good. I loved what I saw from Drake London yesterday, and I loved how they target him intermediate, threw it high, let him use his body and his size. I still think they need to work Kyle Pitts in this offense, and that's the last step for them to be in a complete offense. I think if number 18, I don't want to do that. What's his name? Mac Hollins. If Mac Hollins is getting more receptions and more targets than Kyle Pitts, that is an issue. That is a big issue.
Shout out to Mac Hollins.
Shout out to Mac Hollins. You played good. I'm not mad at you. Like, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying.
But you're the wide receiver, too. Like
Kyle Pitts is supposed to be the wide receiver 1A to Drake London's 1B. Literally. That is what that offense should be built like. The defense, I have nothing to say about. They are good. It is a good defense. I think week to week they'll get better as they get more familiar with each other. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing from the Falcons, and I still like my 10-win pick from them. Like, I still am into that.
The Falcons are so close.
They're so close, bro.
They're so close. Listen, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Justin Fields, I think they'll be looking at what the Falcons are doing this year because they're really a quarterback away. Jeff Okuda's coming back next week off an injury, I believe. That secondary has a lot of talent. A.J. Terrell is a legit all-pro level corner. A great technique, plays amazing, confident in his abilities. You can tell. Yes. You can all. It was interesting because you see Trey Flowers on the opposite. I don't want to down on Trey Flowers, but it was the opposite. Wasn't confident, wasn't playing great, wasn't playing in his technique, and you saw the difference in when one was targeted, when one was the other. I will shoot you some bail, Trey Flowers. My biggest pet peeve right now in football has been this way for years: is underthrown passes turning into pass interferences. Can't stand it. But, what are you going to do? That's the game for real. But I thought they played amazing. Like you said, as a playmaker, out in space, I don't know how many players are better with the ball right now than Bijan. Just getting him in space, it looks impossible to tackle him sometimes. He is ridiculous in space. I like the aggressiveness from Arthur Smith.
56 rush attempts.
Yeah.
56.
Bro, listen.
That's how you have to win.
Dog, every pound the team. And listen, some people are high on Ritter. We're more, I don't want to say realistic.
We know his feeling.
Yeah, I don't want to say realistic.
Like, I'm never going to come in here and bash him.
Yeah, we're not fans. Yeah, so fans that are super excited about Ritter, you're a fan. I'm not going to hate on you. Fans that are super down about Ritter, you're probably right. We'll see. But as of right now, this is how you need to play. Because he is not going to beat teams with his arm. No. He's not going to beat teams making decisions. And you have the weapons where he don't need to. No. And your point is perfect. Not even Mac Hollins, the backup tight end got more targets than Kyle Pitts, bro. Let me just be selfish real quick. As someone who drafted Kyle Pitts in the 5th round of the fantasy draft, I can't understand why they won't throw him the ball. Ernst Smith Jr. should not be getting the ball more than Kyle Pitts, bro. Like, y'all picked him 4th, bro. Like, throw this nigga the ball. But that literally is the last step where I like Mac Hollins as a good number 2 receiver. Drake London hasn't really gotten a chance to be a bona fide number 1, but I like the way he's trending, doing what he can in this offense. Good frame, good size. We'll see what happens with him. But Kyle Pitts is the last step to really making the game a lot easier for Ritter. And as a coach, for Ritter's sake, they need to establish him as a safety blanket for him.
That's what I was about to say.
That might be my biggest problem going through these Kyle Pitts snaps is, okay, I understand we drafted him ahead of Waddle and all these other amazing players, all these other great wide receivers. But, man, let's fit in some Travis Kelce routes. Let's fit in some hike the ball, turn around. Just turn around, bro. Hike the ball, go to the flat. Every play, he don't need to run a wide receiver route. Because, he's going to win the route, but you're asking Desmond Ridder to first hold the ball and second, make that read and throw. Get him some bootleg turnaround Kyle Pitts. Bootleg turnaround Kyle Pitts. Use that, and I think that's the last kind of step their offense is going to take where we run the ball 56 times this week. Maybe next week we get some early play action. Get Kyle. It's like the pick and roll of football where they do the play fake, linebacker step in, throw it behind them. That's an NFL throw. We have to be able to make that, and I would love to see more of that in the game plan. But they look great. Defense looked great. I thought Jordan Love looked good in this situation. Looked confident. Still everything we said week 1 going in. Great game for both teams, but both teams don't win. Sorry, Packers.
Pretty much. So the Seahawks Lions, we can go by this quick. I just want to give a shout out to the Seahawks for the resilience. Yeah. I don't have anything bad to say about either team. I did think the Seahawks were going to win this game, bounce back, and it looked like they came out like, no, we cannot afford to get down 0-2. We dealing with San Francisco. It looked like they knew how important this game was.
San Francisco good, the Rams good. We got to be good.
Yeah, like, we don't got no choice. We cannot fall off slack, and so. And you saw the sense of urgency for them. The Lions, they lost Gardner for the year, which is detrimental to their team because a good safety can cover up so much, very similar to a good linebacker.
Right.
Good
Great tackler.
He's an amazing open field tackler. He was good. He was really good in pass coverage. Jay definitely like just a quarterback out there in your defense. They're going to miss him a lot, especially because their defense is so young, and you're relying on that veteran presence to help them out and give boost to their confidence a little bit. So that's going to hurt them. But I still like what I saw from them, and their offense is literally unstoppable. So they're going to be in every game because you cannot stop them from scoring 31 points again this week.
I just love the creativity they approached the game with. Jared Goff played amazing. He had his first pick, and whatever happened to be a pick six. It's a tough game. You're not gonna play perfect, but they played great.
They played great. And I love the balance of Seattle. Geno came through at the end, and Tyler Lockett is still making plays.
Thing to watch. Last thing before we move on to the Lions. Shout out Barry. Montgomery was hurt.
Yes.
Listen, Jahmyr Gibbs
might get an early introduction.
Listen, fate rarely calls upon us at a time of our choosing.
Facts.
It might be time, Gibbs.
Might be time, son. Might need 18 carries Sunday. You feel me?
Yo, I might need 18 carries, 10 catches.
Facts. So, Rams 49ers. I said that backwards and couldn't read left to right. Or right to left. So. I don't got nothing to say about this game. I mean, like, of course I do, but it's just like everything like went the way I said, like went the way I thought it would.
Yeah, we picked this game perfect.
Like clash, divisional clash. Two coaches that know each other, that hate each other, and two quarterbacks that get the job. One quarterback who is an elite and can get the job done, and you saw how good he was with that defense, with the talent he was going with. How him and Sean McVay was surgical. So I loved what I saw from Matt Stafford and what I saw from my boy Brock Purdy. But all I would say is y'all better prepare for San Francisco. That's all I have to say, bro. They are so balanced, bro. Christian McCaffrey is a cheat code in that offense. Like, he is such a good running back. You rarely see him take negative plays because he is so quick and he hits the hole so fast. He is usually falling forward, and in the open field, he has breakaway speed, and he is hard to tackle one-on-one in the open field. So he is just a cheat code. Debo had an amazing game. You saw Ayuk get hurt. Debo stepped up. Debo talked about how he lost a lot of weight this year. He looks slimmer. He looks faster. Schematically, all I would say for them is to they have Kyle Shanahan. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Like, it's not too much to say.
I was watching this game, and I say this because they play twice a year. And I ask you this I don't ask you directly, but like I asked the show this about. What does Sean McVay know about Kyle Shanahan that just we don't? Like, what does he know? Every year, we like, man, 49ers going to beat the brakes off the Rams. And they kick the ball off, and it's a dogfight every time.
Dogfight.
Like, for Kyle Shanahan, listen, I want to, we're not going to stay in this game long because it was, everything we said was going to happen. It was perfect. Go get the last episode, all that. Like, comment, subscribe. But Matt Stafford and Sean McVay showing really how different it looks. Because that defense, like they lost this game. That defense is going to blow out a lot of teams. That defense is going to run a lot of QBs off the field. With no number one wide receiver, no elite weapons,
no run game.
Nothing. Matthew Stafford's out there ripping them apart.
15 receptions, 147 yards for Puka Nacua.
Yeah, Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
With the most catches in the first two games, I think, in NFL history. Fantasy football demon right now. Shout out if you picked him up. I didn't get to him, but he's playing out. Like, and if you look, the game, it was such a great football nerd game because it was all scheme. It was all scheme. Sean McVay such a dude for real. But other side, of course, 49ers. I'm glad you mentioned Debo losing weight and Christian McCaffrey because the two are connected. Because listen, I'm sure you were because you're a huge Christian McCaffrey fan, but probably no one was more excited to see that Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers notification than Deebo Samuel.
I was so excited, man.
Deebo Samuel probably saw that and called his agent like, thank God. We got the bag and now I don't got to run no more. Thank God, bro. Because it's not sustainable, bro. But now he can play wide receiver. He can focus on doing what he's wanted to do. You can still run the stuff intermediate, but on 2nd and 4, they're not
got to hand it off to
him.
They're
not tapping your helmet like, get in the eye for him. Like, are you kidding me? And everything you said about seeing Missy is 1,000% perfect. And
he makes Brock Purdy's life so easy, bro.
And
just so easy.
It's so easy for him catching the ball in the backfield, everything pass protection. He does it all great. But I think his biggest strength you can see in the Shanahan style of offense, which has birthed a couple 2,000-yard rushers, a couple MVPs, a couple Super Bowl appearances. Shout out to Terrell Davis, Todd Gurley, all these running backs that came through that played amazing. Alfred Morris, the names that have succeeded in this offense. And now you put a first ballot Hall of Famer in there is his vision.
I knew it.
His vision in this offense is so scary because the last time we saw somebody with vision like this in a wide zone offense was Arian Foster, where you can see the like his ability, and you really can't teach it. It's like a point guard in basketball where he can get the handoff. I think it was his touchdown, and the whole line is moving one way because the zone blocking scheme, you're just sliding everybody. And he's able to speed read the defensive line, basically. And he's no, yes, put in the ground, go. And that is so important in the McVay system. And so many running backs don't work. I don't call it the McVay system. I'm sorry, y'all. But so many running backs don't work because a lot of the running backs now in high school, college, they're coming out there, No, Christian McCaffrey does all that in the open field or
when you're supposed to.
When you're supposed to. But he's so scheme sound in early plays where he's getting the ball, he's going, no. Foot in the ground, go. And while he's breaking through that, they are probably the best scheme executing run blocking team I've ever seen in my life. Where literally, even the wide receivers, all 11 guys, are blocking excellently. And to have someone like Christian McCaffrey like that, I mentioned it, bro. I really think he has a chance to win MVP this year.
He does. Which
is insane.
He does. I can't believe I didn't mention him for Offensive Player of the Year. I cannot believe I did not mention him for when we did that. But, that's a sleeper Offensive of the Year, Player of the Year pick because he is doing so much for them. And he is, like I said, Brock Purdy, best friend. That's his best friend, dog.
Gotta be, bro.
Man, you are so happy you got a running back like that because shout out to, Elijah last year? Elijah Mitchell. Yeah. He good. Good running back. But an elite running back is the difference in why we're saying they need to be paid. Because what Christian McCaffrey and the Saquons, they do, Bijans, they do, you just can't ask a regular running back to do. And I want to bring it real quick. I just want to bring it to the point. There's a video going around on Twitter right now of DeAndre Swift, and you're more so, he's missing a hole. Right. And in the video, I just want, if you guys come across this, basically what is happening, and this goes back to the running back vision is why I'm saying it. They're running a zone read, and they might have been a man blocking, but I think it was a zone block. So they ran a zone read pretty much from the shotgun. Shotgun. So he gets the ball, and as he is going, the middle opens up, but you can see both the middle line. The left middle linebacker has leverage, and the other one is coming down free. So you can't get to the middle. And your next read is the A gap. Right. And an elite running back would have been patient enough to see that hole developing because the guy was saying, you have to see that this hole is coming open and hit it right off the A-gap and get through there. But DeAndre Swift isn't Christian McCaffrey. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not Derrick Henry. He's not these running backs. Those running backs are able to have that feel that you were just talking about. It is a point guard-like feel that you have with that ball in your hand that you can tell, all right, I can basically shuffle my feet and get through there and get an extra 3-4 yards. And DeAndre Swift ended up bouncing outside for no gain. But it's just you can't ask DeAndre Swift to do that. You can't ask Tyler Algerin to make those plays. You can, but you're not going to get the results
Alexander Madison.
Yeah, You're just not. These elite running backs have that vision, that feel that you see when you see when you do the freeze screen on Twitter and you stop the play mid-play and you see that's a hole they just didn't see. They can't see it. They don't have the vision. They don't have the feel. Christian McCaffrey does, and that's why, like you said, he's a match made in heaven for this zone run blocking scheme. Yeah. And Carolina, again, I like to bring this up. I'm a Carolina fan. We talk about who we like to in this show. So I'm going to just bring it back. They had Cam Newton, DJ Moore, and Christian McCaffrey on the same team in 2019 and cut Cam Newton and traded DJ Moore and traded Christian McCaffrey.
Which is crazy.
Which is insane.
Imploded.
I want you to know, like, the NFL is such a dirty game because 90% of your career got to do where you drafted. like it's just about where you drafted, what type of organization you're going to.
We're getting really good with these segues because, like, that was such a perfect one. The team that DJ Moore was traded to,
that's good.
That has been the talk of anywhere in Chicago, of course, anywhere in the AFC North, of course, but major scrutiny on NFL nerd Twitter, where 3 or 4 YouTube, of course, there's people breaking down film. 3 or 4 YouTube channels are just dogging this Bears scheme, dogging Justin Fields, and it was a perfect segue where so much of your career is about where you're drafted because, man,
I feel bad for him, man.
I don't know if I've ever been more frustrated watching a prospect in my sports life, honestly. Basketball, football, college football. I have never been more frustrated trying to watch someone else succeed in my life. So before we start hating on them, just talk about, because you have experience playing quarterback, you have experience playing competition football where timing matters, preparation matters. Talk to more about that side of what you're seeing with Justin Fields. Because a lot of people are talking about his drop is too slow, this, that, and the third, about what's going on. What are you seeing when you see Justin?
So the first thing that I see that pops off the screen for me is it seems like he is second-guessing every decision. And I've probably said this word 12 times today already, but he's just is so uncomfortable. Right. He is – nothing they are doing seems like they have spoken with him pregame, like, hey, do you like this? Yeah. It doesn't seem like you'll hear a lot of coaches talk about all the time about how at the beginning of the game you have a scripted 12. It might be your first drive. It might be your first 3 drives. For a rookie quarterback, it might be the whole first quarter. These are the plays we're going to run. Right. And as you said, back to Tua, Mike McDaniel has the one play that they can run every play differently. They can run 9-10 times a game differently because Tua is comfortable with it. Justin Fields does not seem like he has that. And then because he doesn't have that, that leads into, well, that means you have a poor scheme. You have a piss-poor scheme, and you do not play to your quarterback's strengths, and that is a recipe for disaster. Now, a lot of quarterbacks have either or. They'll have a bad scheme, but they'll be playing to their strengths, or they'll be playing to their strengths in a bad scheme. Mm-hmm. Both with a quarterback that is young, you can't win. You can't win. So people are talking about his throwing motion and his slow drop and him holding the ball too long. You didn't see any of that at Ohio State because Ohio State had a scheme where it was 1 read, 2 read, get the ball out. He didn't run at Ohio State because it was 1 read, 2 read, get the ball out. You're not letting him run. You're not getting him outside of the pocket. You're making him be a sitting duck in the pocket on plays that don't work. They have multiple plays this season where receivers are standing right next to each other. They have a play this season where they don't have a route on the side of the field they told them to roll out to. They have a series of plays this season, last game, that lost them a game where they ran the same screen 3 times in a row. What in the hell are you doing? What could you possibly be doing for you to think that an NFL-level defense with multiple All-Pros on it can't tell you're about to run the same play for the 3rd time on the 2-yard line?
It's so frustrating.
What are you doing?
It
is like you are being coached by a high school quarterback.
I'm telling you.
Like, he's just out there playing Madden, bro. Like, these are Madden plays. This is a Madden playbook. This is pitiful. It's pitiful to watch. I truly feel bad for Justin Fields because we know when you got that skin color, you may not get a second chance. Now, hopefully you have the Geno luck and you get your second chance, or the Jameis luck and you get your second chance, but not all of them get the second chance. Right. And I hope 2 people need to be fired right now today. Matt Canada in Pittsburgh and the offensive coordinator for the Bears.
Yeah.
They need to be gone.
Let me make sure I get his name, because I had his name ready and I just blanked on it.
They need to get rid of him immediately.
Listen, we don't fire people a lot on this show.
No.
Like,
I don't call for people's jobs. I don't like to do that. But
Yeah.
those are two people. Just get him out of there. It's not going to work. He doesn't know what he's doing. There's no – I don't see a lot of –
Luke Getsy. Okay.
Luke Getsy. Yeah. I don't see a lot of read option. I don't see a lot of read option. No midline option. I don't see many quick screens, many quarterback boosts. It's so many things you can run with a quarterback that dynamic. A 4-3 guy you saw run 60, 70-yard
broke the record
multiple times last year.
Broke
you
the
put
record
the ball in his hands. He's a playmaker, and they're not letting him make any plays. They're trying to dictate what he's doing, but what they're trying to dictate to him do isn't playing to his strengths, and it's not working.
Yeah.
It's pitiful.
So you hit on a couple of good things. I want to pick up from where you left off at the end, because I think you're gonna find this mind blowing. Because I don't know, did you watch the play-by-play breakdown? So you mentioned they don't have any QB runs. So I watched the game, and I think they had 2 design plays where it's an option for him to run. And there was one where I watched, and I was like, man, it looked like he kind of made the wrong read. So I was interested to watch it on film. Let me tell you the design for this play. Because so left side of the screen, we're going to have the read option. Right side, we're going to have the RPO bubble, which is very normal. But unlike other RPO bubbles, they have him facing the opposite way. So he catches, so instead of him looking RPO this way, doing the handoff, the RPO bubble, not even down the field, RPO bubble is on the right side of the field. So this is what they're asking. I swear to God, it's the craziest thing it's the craziest thing I never noticed until I saw it. Like, I was watching the film and I was taken aback by where he's we're in shotgun. So you gotta look, you gotta look down and catch the snap. Mm-hmm. He's catching the snap. They want him to turn, not like turn his body, turn your head when you catch it. Take the picture at the RPO. If you like the RPO, throw it. If not, you're gonna turn your head all the way back over. And then make this read option read against one of the best front sevens in the league. So I'm like, man, why is he guessing on this read option? He's Justin Fields. He knows how to run a read option. Oh, it's because that is the worst offensive scheme I've ever seen in my fucking life. Chris Paul couldn't make that read. Are you kidding me? I gotta catch the ball and take a picture at this RPO and not just, okay, is it open? I gotta be mentally prepared to look at it and flip my hips to throw it. Or I gotta take it, look, oh, it's not there, then get my helmet all the way back around, see the leverage from the D lineman. Is he coming up, and then make that read. It's the most, and that was one of their 2 QB design runs. He's the best QB runner in the league, not named Lamar Jackson. We can't get him outside the pocket. Outside of just the general incompetence, like it's hard to put it in categories where it's like you mentioned the play they had him roll out right. It was they had the running back come out the backfield. It's like a corner. He never made it there. God knows what he's
obviously
doing. Bro, it's some plays where you legit don't know what the play is.
And it would make way more sense for me if they had got an offensive coordinator from college. Yeah. And it was just like, okay, he thinks the NFL is a lot slower than it is. Like, the speed of the NFL, the closing speed of the NFL is just different from shit you can't know until you experience. Yeah. So that would make sense. But do you have anything else?
I got a bunch. So that's a great point. And another problem I have with it is, if the scheme just wasn't working, that'd be one thing. If you just had a bad plan, I can I could kind of cut you more slack. We don't even know what the plan is. You have no identity. You don't run the ball with Justin Fields, who's your best player. It's 3rd and short. The first 3rd and short in the year, we're running a trick play to the tight end to have him run with Justin Fields. We don't run QB power. Like we don't run anything to his strengths. And situationally, this is the biggest thing you see with like good teams, bad teams. Situationally, it's just laughable. Like 3rd down, I have 2 girls 5 feet away from each other. Somebody's wrong here. I don't know who it is. Somebody is wrong. And all the things, I don't want to say all the things. Let's say, I want to be fair. 95% of the things wrong with Justin Fields were not problems with him when he started playing quarterback for the Bears. And the worst part about it is he was better as a rookie. And that's why I know it's not Justin Fields. If you were at a job for 20 years and you worked at 5 different places and you were good at all this stuff, and then I give you a new job with new bosses that change what you do and you instantly regress, I know it's something they're doing. Justin Fields' drop is too slow. His drop used to be faster. Justin Fields' footwork is a mess. It used to be better. His decision-making is suspect. It used to be faster. And that is the biggest problem I'm having with the casual fans. And I've gone to a point where I really, I'm not arguing with nobody about Justin Fields that not watching the game. Because I want you to give him a point. I really do. Get him to an NFL team and and I would love to see the reaction from Chicago. Because it's no coincidence. There's never been a 4,000-yard passer in Chicago. Ever. Not once. Not one time in the history of the NFL have they had a great quarterback. And that's not by surprise. That is not by accident. They have a problem with their front office and their coaching where, man, it's almost like the Celtics from 2008. Fam, y'all are not the 85 Bears. Stop trying to play Bears football. Bears football does not work. In a league where every single team is trying to become more advanced on offense, you're taking the other steps. And it's so frustrating because, it's just not Madden, y'all. It's not, even if it looks like he's open, the speed of the game, I need to know he's open before he gets there.
Exactly.
It's not Madden where I can see him open and then throw the ball. The ball needs to be on the way to him while he's open. So all the little mistakes that they make, it's impossible to compete against good teams. And like you mentioned, the Buccaneers defense has Hall of Famers on it, bro. The Buccaneers defense won a Super Bowl. They won 3 road games there. They beat Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes,
Drew Brees
on the way there. This defense has amazing talent. They're coached great, and they have playmakers on it. So for you to have the I don't know if it's audacity or just ignorance, just dumb enough to think that these grown men would not see you're in the same formation, running the same play 3 straight times. It's not even a good play. It's not even a good play. You're sending your running back through a screen to the heart of their defense, to the best part of the Bucs defense. It's so frustrating, bro. It's so and what's so frustrating is usually athletic quarterback Justin Fields, he can say F it like he did last year and just jump out the window. You can see he's been told not to. You can watch the game.
You can see it.
You can see him want to run. You can see him want to run, but he just can't.
And that's why I said you can see him second guessing himself.
Yeah.
You can see it. He hit everything. Yep. Real quick, I want to touch on it, and I told y'all to watch out for it. The Bucs are not a bad football team, and we thought they were. I didn't think they were going to win more than 5 games. They're not a bad football team. If Baker can continue to make great decisions, they're going to be okay. They are being coached very well.
Yeah, see, the only thing that stopped me with the Bucs is I knew Mike Evans don't want to be there. If Mike Evans stays there, I think they'll remain a very competitive team, especially in the NFC South. But if he is on the way out of town, week 4, week 5, it might get tough for Baker. But right now, the Bucs are a good team filled with players who play great football. It's not a tanking team, bro. You're not gonna walk in. You're not gonna play Tampa Bay coming off a W, unprepared and be successful. No exaggeration. I don't know if the Bears win a game this year.
Unless something changes, I don't know, bro.
And I don't know how they.
That's how bad their offense looks. I don't know, because their defense isn't good enough to keep holding.
Bro, I'm watching the tight end, bro. The tight end, the ball is snapped. The tight end is touching the right tackle's back to get around him to release inside the line, the offensive line. And shout out J.C. O'Sullivan, the quarterback school. We don't shout him out a lot. Bruh, he's watching the film. It's a hilarious watch. Go watch it. Just how frustrating it is. Because what the fuck are you doing? Because if you're doing that on your own, you need to go sit on the sideline. But the thing is, he's not. That's the worst part. If he was just going rogue, not running these plays correctly, that's one thing. Fam, in no level of football have I ever seen a tight end get in the way of a tackle before. Like the tackle is dropping and he literally can't because the tight end is like sliding around him like it's an NBA screen and the play gets destroyed by the defensive end because the tackle can't move. Like the play never started because of like I don't know if I have a word for it.
They're losing games before they get to the stadium.
And the thing is, what y'all watch? These film sessions. What are y'all watching in the arena? Because if everybody else sees
in the classroom, what are y'all doing?
What are y'all doing, bro? What are y'all doing, dog? No quarterback. Bottom line, no quarterback can be successful now. Like people on Bears Twitter, they want to draft Caleb Williams. He won't go. I promise you. I bet you my bottom dollar he come back to USC. I bet you a house dollar. He not playing like that. You could draft Mahomes. He would struggle, bro. No quarterback. Listen, at the end of the day, we talk about some quarterbacks are problem solvers. It's 11 people on that field, bro. I can solve our problems. I can't solve every problem. Bro. It's three routes. Two of them can't be the same, dog. I need help. Like, come on, man. And we don't talk about the Bears often. I mean, before this season, we didn't talk about the Bears at this length ever before. And the reason is, bro, we didn't plan to do this. Like, this is the most incompetent thing I've ever seen on any football field.
You don't see us talking about young quarterbacks because give them time to grow. I only shout rookie quarterbacks out when I see them doing something. Right. Like last year, we shouted Justin Fields out a couple times because I was like, oh my God, he's a fresh. Anthony Richardson looks amazing. C.J. Stroud looks very well. I like what I see from these young quarterbacks. Bryce Young last night, I like what I saw. Right. I think he needs to make quicker decisions about running the ball and stop thinking he at Alabama and he can kind of stretch plays. Just run the ball. Like you're a decent runner. Get down, get your 7-8 charts. But like we don't speak about young quarterbacks because it's so, like we said, it's just so much to learn, so much to grow. There's no point in killing them early. But this needs to be spoken about because this isn't on him. This is like it said, it's about 85-15%, 90-10%, somewhere in there. Like some of the things he can be better, some throws he does miss, but like I can kind of say maybe you weren't even supposed to be looking at that from what your coach is telling you. Like the dig I keep seeing from everybody. Like I don't know. I mean, not the dig, the streak, the seam route that I keep seeing in the red zone. Look, man, maybe he missed that throw, or maybe his coach was telling him look at something completely different, and by the time he came back to it, that safety had come over already.
So the timing that the coach came out and said, the timing on the route was wrong. That's why he didn't throw it. The timing on the combination of those routes were wrong. And I'm so glad you have football experience. So you know, like when you're reading, you're literally reading. You're not reading, let me go back, I thought this was open. Like NFL plays, like, bro, again, this is not Madden, bro. This is not Madden, nigga. Like, dog, I wish Justin Fields would put on a GoPro or some shit.
So you can see how fast
y'all can really see it because he's read, throw. That is how the quarterback works in the NFL. So if two people are in the wrong spot while I'm reading, they're out. I'm straight. If I get out the pocket, scramble drill, that's one thing. But if I'm forced to play in the pocket, y'all need to be on time. Like for you, like because they have the flat, they have the wheel, they have the seam. Very common concept in pro football. Works all the time when executed. Like it literally worked. If they execute it, it's a walk-in touchdown. But you're late. You are not open when you're supposed to be open. I cannot throw this ball late across the middle. I could try to fit it in there now, but when I see you, the defense sees you too. That is the problem. Like football games don't happen in screenshots. They don't happen in screenshots. Like
they do not, bro.
If I have to wait to see you open, you're not open. Justin Fields. Now let me say, because I did say it was 95-5, 85-15. Justin Fields can play 1,000% better. He did miss some reads. There were some throws. The accuracy could have been better. But, like we say, where you go matters. These things matter. We saw Josh Allen go from an MVP candidate to last week. They just put the training wheels back on him. It's really hard, bro. And you see the difference between great coach quarterbacks and not great coach quarterbacks. You see the difference. And shout out Mike McDaniel, probably one of my 3 favorite coaches in the league right now. Everything Tua do, outside of being super accurate, is very intentional. his footwork, his preparation, the videos they post on NFL Network where he's working out in the summer to throw this exact route. That's coaching.
That's coaching.
You know where to go with the ball.
That's coaching.
I'm not gonna be like I always say this, bro. If you put a toddler behind the wheel and they flip that bitch, that's on you. I can't expect a young quarterback to come in NFL and coach himself because nobody's ever done it ever. We even talked about Peyton, who used to run his own practices. People give so much credit for having all control of the offense. His first 5 years, he was trash. It took him 6 years to win one playoff game, and then he got the doors blown off him the next week. Like, it's really hard. And that's one of the 5 best quarterbacks ever. I'm not going to ask Justin Fields to coach himself and play quarterback.
And the last thing I'll say to wrap this up is,
boy, man,
it's all connected.
Yeah.
So his drop is slow because he doesn't know his read. And his accuracy is off because he's not 100% sure if he should be throwing this ball. So in the middle of his throwing motion, he's second-guessing because he's wondering if it's going to get picked. And if you want to go listen to somebody talk about it, go try to find one of the Cam's old videos when he's talking about the Patriots offense. Yeah. This is a perfect example for him, especially somebody that has a similar play style. He was saying that in that Patriots offense, I'm getting to the line of scrimmage in the first couple weeks after COVID, I am confused because they didn't stop installing new game plan shit. So I am learning shit on the fly, and I'm getting to the line, and I'm having to apply it, and I'm not 100% sure where I'm going. So everything is messed up now from my feet all the way up to my brain.
Right.
And that is what Justin Fields is going through. He's getting to the line of scrimmage, and he's not sure what the fuck he's looking at, and it looked like neither is his coach. And it's like, well, my coach told me to go here, but I'm not sure this is open. Well, there's 4 seconds left on the game clock, so now I got to step. All right, now I'm dropping back. Well, my feet are fucked up. Oh, shit. Now I'm looking. Okay, now he's coming. I got to pass. Okay, let me just let it go. Yeah. And all of this is messed up because you're thinking too much. It's supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be, like it said, literally a read, like not a Madden read where I got 3 seconds where it's really be one. A literal look across the field, I'm going here. Look across the field. Okay, so look at the field pre-snap. All right, they're in this coverage. That means if I look here, then I can come back here if this safety takes 3 steps to the right. Oh, that safety took 3 steps to the right, ball is coming out. Yeah. It's stuff like that he doesn't look comfortable doing, and until it gets fixed, they're going to be awful. Like you said, they may not win another game. And quickly to the last 1 o'clock game we're going to discuss. We'll end with Joey. We'll end with Joey B because we just did so much negativity. Yeah. Lamar and that Ravens offense is for real. Yeah, OBJ went out with an ankle injury. I think it was just minor. I think it was a turf. I watched the injury happen. I was like, that was like he planned it and it just did not plan like it was supposed to in grass. So like it would have been grass. So ankle injury. He should be back next week. But first week to second week, it looks like damn near night and day. Literally. Like he looked quick. Lamar looked quick in his decision. He ran every time he was supposed to. He didn't make a mistake. I don't even think he had an interception that was supposed to be an interception, like a drop one. Like he played a damn near a perfect football game the other day on Sunday. And that's important because that's a division game. Somebody that knows you, somebody that's seen you a lot in the past 3 years, and he looked so comfortable that year. Like I said, I tweeted off the show's page that by week 6, week 7, this offense is going to look amazing because it's a lot of weapons. Yeah. It's a lot of speed in that offense. And the aspect that Zay Flowers bring cannot be put into words, bro. Yeah. He is able to, I will call it 4 levels because you can give him the ball behind the line of scrimmage, or the short route, intermediate, and deep ball. Yeah. He called an amazing, perfect throw, perfect catch. Beautiful throw on the rope, and he dove and called it in double coverage. Like, he is a cheat code for them. And having Odell for the short and intermediate, a deep ball every now and then, Duvernay to go deep, Bateman to go deep, and then Duvernay in between. And then the running backs, because of how good their O-line is, the running backs don't got to be J.K. Dobbins. The running backs can be who they are and get the 4 or 5 yards of carry, and because we got Lamar Jackson, we can live with that. So lastly, and the defense looks amazing without Marlon Humphrey, and they lost in their corner too. So without your 2 starting corners, our nickel corner, and if that defense playing it is without the big names, and they lost the defensive tackle, they lost Nagata early this year. So I picked them to go to the AFC Championship, and I feel very comfortable with that pick from what I've seen for 2 weeks. I know it's 15 more weeks, a long season. But from what I've seen week to week, Lamar just doesn't lose, bro. Lamar just always in the games. He's won 75% of his games. He has the highest he has the best record since coming into the league.
Highest active win percentage in the league right now.
He doesn't lose games, and he doesn't lose many games, and they're always in the games. And I'm going to be watching the Ravens and Eagles. I will probably watch every snap of their season, and so far I have loved what I'm seeing. But you can speak about the Ravens and then get into Joey.
Yeah, so 1,000%, I want to give some more love to the Ravens. You hit everything that was perfect. That offense looks amazing. Defense looked amazing. I want to shout out Patrick Queen. Of all people, I want to shout out Patrick Queen because, like we said, the situation you get drafted in is very important. They drafted him into a Mike linebacker situation, which he was not. And having Roquan there has made him 3-4 times the better player than he used to be. Being able to, you don't have to coach the defense. You don't have to you don't have to lead the defense. You need to go make these plays, make these reads, go. Let Roquan, let the rest of the defense work with you night and day. He's playing outside of his mind. But, boy, on to the Bengals. Boy, because listen, life Gucci 5.
Okay, so let me pose this question to you.
Yeah.
We saw what we saw, and we don't have to talk about what would happen with Lamar if he would have signed a $1 million, bajillion dollar contract today.
Guaranteed, and they are 0-2.
So
they got the doors blown off of them again.
We know that. We know the outcome of that.
Yep.
What I want to ask you is, one, how much of this are you putting on Joe missing all of training camp?
Right.
And two, how much of this do you think is maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is too much.
Yep.
Maybe the Bengals just aren't who we thought they were. Is that a realistic? Because first 2 weeks, these are not the same teams we've been watching the past few years.
Right.
So is it realistic that maybe the Bengals either aren't who we thought they were, or they're just starting to be figured out week to week?
So I think, man, what's the Drake shit? I think it's a combination. But the biggest thing is the last thing you said, where teams are figuring them out. And the thing is, the NFL is really hard to win in. And when you're like the Bengals and you've been constantly winning, teams are figuring you out. And the NFL is a copycat league. So once a team, the Chiefs in the playoffs last year, figures you out, you need to be prepared for that. Missing training camp, Joe Mix is playing, their offensive line's playing bad. Joe Burrow, he's not looking 1,000% comfortable. A lot of that is regression to the NFL mean, kind of. And not that Joe Burrow's not a top 5 quarterback. I think they'll win some games. I think they'll be fine. I don't know how their season plays out just because how rough that schedule is looking already. And it's getting better somehow now that the year started, because next week, we thought this was going to be a knockout win for them. They go play the Rams next week.
Shit. On Monday night, man, that's not no walk in the park no more.
I
thought it was.
That's
not no walk in the park, dog.
And that's how quick the league go at you, because, bruh, if they lose this game, it might be over this season.
For real.
And the thing is, the NFL, listen, everything moves so fast. T. Higgins not going to be here next year. It's not going to be any easier next year. So I think it is a regression to the NFL. Meaning we see half the teams that make the playoffs don't go back the next year. They survived the Super Bowl hangover, lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. But dude, it's really hard to keep winning. And I think the to say the quiet part out loud, we don't know if Zach Taylor's a good coach. And as much as we haven't had to say it, because you've had amazing success up to this, your defense coordinator has been amazing in big games. Joe Burrow's been great when the lights are bright. It's been hard to see them not prepared for what teams have for them.
Okay.
Because week 1 of the NFL season, you should be prepared, and they just weren't. Whether it was Joe's injury, he missed training camp, you don't know what he can do. To go no mas with 4 minutes left is embarrassing. And to follow it up again with a loss where it was a 3-point game at the end, didn't feel like it. At all points, the Ravens were in control. And we're 2 weeks into the season, you're 0-2 in that division.
So the last point you made before the 0-2 point. I was watching, like I said, I watched every snap of the game. When they got the ball back, I said, "This game's over." Yeah. I said, "You're not stopping them." I was like, "This offense is." They punted the ball one time last year. Yep. They had 1 punt and 1 3 and out. Yep. That means they were moving the ball up and down the field. It might have been 2 punts, but they were moving the ball up and down the field. And the reason why I was like, they're not gonna stop them. They couldn't stop them from running the ball. Yep. I don't think they had a negative run the whole game. Nope. I don't think they had a yard lost on a run the entire game. And that was what I am worried about is, one, their defense isn't great. And so when your offense isn't putting up the points to the extent they're used to, it puts a lot more pressure on their defense than they're usually used to have and than they need to have. I will say this isn't panic. We're not hitting the panic button. It just needs to be discussed because the team we thought was going to be 13 win 13 games is 0-2 right now.
Yeah, $250 million guaranteed.
What I'm worried about is Seahawks, 49ers, Bills, Ravens one more time, Jaguars, Vikings, Chiefs,
Rams.
That's 10 losses. That's 10 could be losses. You're gonna beat Houston. You're gonna beat the Steelers twice more than likely.
Hopefully,
and
like division game.
And you're gonna beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
And I expect you to beat the Browns. I don't expect you to get swept by the Browns. So those are some wins I'm expecting them to have. But those rest of the games are all losable games. Yeah. And so when you start 0-2, it's such a detriment because now you got 6 losses. I mean, you got 5 more losses. Yeah. You got 5 more losses to hope you're in the playoffs.
Right.
You got 3 more losses if you want to guarantee your playoff spot.
Yep.
So that's terrifying when you got the rest of their schedule. And that's all the last thing I will say is, with Joe and his calf injury, Kevin Durant, Aaron Rodgers,
I was gonna say,
don't force it.
Yeah.
Do not force it.
Really
He's young. You have an incredible team. You can replace T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is a bona fide number 1. You can pay him, keep him there. Yeah. You can draft, or you can find a free agent to replace T. Higgins. Mm-hmm. You can build up the offensive line. Don't get that man. He can't go through ACL 1 year and 2 years later he had Achilles. You don't want to force it. We've seen this happen twice with superb all-time level athletes. We don't want to see this happen with him. Keep him out if he needs to be out.
That's an absolute fact. That's what I was going to say. Listen, they go 0-3. I got a lot of Bengals fans I follow on Twitter. They are already talking. They go 0-3.
Sit them.
But Zach Taylor's not going to do that. You can't do that.
No, you can't fucking. He just paid him $200 million.
I'm going to sit this nigga on the bench for 14 games and we pay him. Yeah.
Are you out your fucking mind?
But the last thing that was very under-discussed nationally, and whether it's I don't know if they didn't think he was a great player or they overestimated like how good they would adjust. You can see they miss Jesse Bates. They really miss Jesse Bates.
He's a really good
as a leader
player
on a defense, as someone who's a veteran now, who's played in a million big games. You can, and I know they're missing Jesse Bates because you can see how different the Falcons play with Jesse Bates. Mm-hmm. Safety that can tackle, safety that can cover, and a safety that can be a quarterback on your defense. You don't see that with the Bengals anymore. And it's really hurting them because they didn't have a lot of guys to get, like, they didn't have a lot of talent to begin with. No disrespect. They didn't have a lot of big name superstars to begin with on defense. You lose maybe your best defender? Like 90% sure he was your best defender?
The DN is the only other option. Like, that's the only one.
Hendrickson, right?
Hendrickson, yeah. So.
And you don't replace him with anything on the back end, really. So I think that is weighing a toll. And man, it's going to be a hard season. Life come at you really fast.
It's going to be a hard season, man. Yeah. That's really how I'll end it. And we can switch to their division opponent real quick, and then we'll end it with we'll end the show with your Pats, because I like what I'm seeing from them, and I love the Dolphins right now. But Steelers Browns, we'll stay on quick. I don't have nothing to say about the nasty man. If you want me to be honest, on some real shit, I think psychologically he's fucked up from what he went through. I think mentally he's done, because this isn't the Deshaun Watson I watched and became a fan of and was one of my 3 favorite quarterbacks. This is him. That's not who I'm watching. His deep ball looks atrocious. He had an amazing deep ball when he was in Houston. He's missing throws he usually makes. He doesn't look comfortable running. He doesn't like it. Like, it feels like the energy is weighing on him. And I wouldn't surprise me if after this contract he called it quits. It just doesn't seem like he can get it together.
So these gifts that athletes have, you see them talk about it a lot. It's fleeting. And I don't want to say, I agree mentally. The weight on him mentally, you can see it on his face, but you're not taking 2 years off. you're just not taking 2 years off from professional football and coming. You're not Jordan. Shout out to Michael Jordan. To take 2 years off of any high level sport where you need to train your body to do things that you can't tell yourself to do. Listen to that again. You need to train your body to do things that you cannot tell yourself to do in the moment. These need to be instinctual muscle memory decisions that you're making. Taking 2 years off and coming back from it is very, very hard. And I think you're seeing and it sounds crazy, it's like watching a rookie.
It is.
It's like watching a rookie.
It is.
And mentally for him, I think that's probably the biggest hurdle for him. Like, he was Deshaun Watson. Like, he was leading yard, amazing, explosive. Before Patrick Mahomes, I had a chance to stop him. I really did. We were up four scores in his first playoff game. Like, we could have did it. That's one of the biggest what-ifs in NFL history.
And that Texas team was good.
Facts. And now you see the opposite every Sunday. He's not sure. First of all, he's not sure on reads. And you can see it, especially, I mentioned this 4 or 5. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this many times. Like, you play quarterback, you skip 4 or 5 balls in the dirt. And what that tells me is you're trying to throw the ball here. You're not good fundamentals driving through the ball. You're trying to all arm, gun it in there. Please, God, let it get there. And you're throwing it too hard, too low. You're not throwing the ball, you're aiming it. And you see that from Deshaun. I don't remember last time I saw any elite quarterback skip the ball 4 or 5 times. And I just don't see it. Another quarterback that we talked about with, he was kind of the first to his kind. Salute. Actually, I don't want to salute you, but $250 million guaranteed. You got your bags, that's lit. We all support on the show, but he looks done.
It looks done. I think it's over with, and I truly think that I think like not to get morbid or nothing, but I think the universe repays you. You do things of that nature, I think the universe repays you, and it may not be the repayal the human wants in that we as average regular 9 to 5 people that we ask for, but it's something, and that taking the game away he loved and not being able to be who he is enough. And that got a little too deep, but seriously, I feel it. I don't think it'll ever come and maybe we'll get to week 8 and week 10, and that's 10 weeks of football, and it'll be like, oh, there's Deshaun, and I see it in spurts. I see him make a throw, I see him have a couple avoid a sack or evade a sack or something, and it'll be like, oh, there he is. But it's just, I don't think we'll get that complete guy again. I just think it was too much time missed. But
and just lastly on Deshaun, he's good.
Yeah,
I remember what I was gonna say. Lastly, we see this across almost all sports. He's not having fun. You can see it weigh on him. Like when LeBron talked about the world hating him for those years in Miami, you can really see how much it really hurt him. Because we all want to be the villain. Everybody want to be Kobe. Everybody want to be, Jordan was beloved. But Kobe's a great example of bro, everybody can't do that, bro. Everybody can't walk around with the weight of entire sports world,
and then just use that as motivation. That's not a normal characteristic,
right?
No.
And to lean into it and come out a better person, that is really hard. And you see Deshaun, he's not having any fun, bro. He's not having no fun.
It don't even look like their team's having fun as a unit.
Yeah. And before we get out this segment, prayers to Nick Chubb.
Yeah, that was.
Prayers to Nick Chubb.
Prayers, man.
That's really it. Yeah.
I don't got nothing to say about the hit. Nothing. Just prayers, bro. That is heartbreaking because that's the same knee he fucked up in 2015. So prayers to him, one of the best backs in the league, one of the best running backs in UGA history. Prayers. I hope he can come back. Even if he don't come back, I just hope he is okay and able to walk again and shit. So, last game of the day. A team I'm very high on. I had them at number 2 as the number 2 team in the league, and I would keep them right there if we were doing a power ranking list today. So you talk about the Pats, and I'm going to talk about the Dolphins and the Woods. Right about. So what I want to ask you about the Pats is because you already picked them not to make the playoffs. Right. But with the AFC struggling, one, and the Jets having the debacle they had, do you think a playoff hope is in the future? And 2, are you liking what you're seeing from the offense? Because I know that was your biggest gripe last year. Was like, what the fuck are we doing on offense? Yeah. Are you liking what you're seeing from Bill O'Brien and Mac Jones?
So this is a perfect justification. I'm glad you asked that specific question because what I see from the offense now is what we say we don't see from the Bears. Like, our offense, we don't have a great number one wide receiver, so our options are limited. Our running backs are limited. Like, we are limited on offense, but you see an identity. Mm-hmm. You see what we are trying to do. Okay. You see Mac Jones making intermediate throws, getting the ball out quick, getting the ball out quick. Got 2 tight ends. We're going to run 2 tight end sets. We're going to play a certain way. And it's being, you see him becoming more comfortable. Mm-hmm. You see them being successful. And especially what's so important is as games are progressing, they're playing better.
Okay.
We are not in the because what I don't want as a Patriot fan is to try to win the game Tuesday through Thursday. I don't want us to try to win the game Tuesday through Thursday. We get to Sunday. Okay, the plan isn't working. Let's stay with the plan anyway. Mm-hmm. Or we could try this. Let's not try this. You see them getting better as the game is going on, making those adjustments. And to answer your first question, I don't want us to make the playoffs, but I absolutely could see it happening. Mm-hmm. The defense is going to keep us in a bunch of games. I want to shout out Christian Gonzalez, playing amazing as a rookie corner.
Hey, I want to shout out Christian Gonzalez. He's for real,
That
bro.
boy serious.
He's for real.
That boy serious.
I thank God he in Oregon on Saturday.
Yo, that boy is serious, dog. Listen, it takes some cojones to go for Tyreek Hill like that.
Man, went up and got that motherfucker.
And we talked about AJ Terrell earlier. It takes real calmness to not turn them hips when Tyreek start running. It takes some real trust in your technique to not bail out on them plays early with Tyreek and Waddle sprinting at you. And you can see he trusts his technique, he trusts the defense, and he trusts his athletic ability.
And his film.
Yeah, and he's really, really good. The defense is going to keep us in a lot of games. But the Miami Dolphins are a top 5 team in the league.
Yes, sir.
And the NFL's not fair, like we mentioned. No. Sometimes you start your season with 2 top 5 NFL teams. You know?
like you couldn't ask for a worse 2 teams.
Bro,
like
the Eagles, the best running team in the league.
The best running team, and then the fastest receiving core we might have ever seen in life.
And the best passing team right after that. But to flip the side, we love Mike McDaniel here. I'm going to let you hit the Dolphins, especially with how they've had to execute the first 2 weeks. What are you seeing, especially out of Tua and that defense? Because I know that's what you see.
Okay, so Tua, I'll be quick on Tua because this is probably a team you'll hear us talk about damn near every week for the rest of the year. But Tua, they're just making everything easy for him. Everything looks easy, and it's gonna be one of those teams where they probably ain't gonna be too busy this year. They're gonna be in field goal range most times because of the cheat code Tyreek is, and then the double cheat code that Tyreek is with Waddle. Right. So their offense is quick. They take deep shots when they need to, and they can run the ball. It's literally just a perfect recipe. Everything is a match made in heaven. The only thing we're hoping for is Tua stays healthy. Right. And the way the offensive line is playing, he's staying up. He's learned how to fall, which is very important. We saw that with Patrick Mahomes in quarterback, learning how to fall, twisting your body in different ways, making sure your head doesn't hit the ground, things of that nature. Yep. I think we're going to see more from this offense. I don't even think, as you said, Andy Reid doesn't open up the playbook until the playoffs. I don't even think Mike McDaniel has scratched the surface of the shit we can see. But quickly this is the most important thing about their offense. The motions. Yeah. A motion is like, think SpongeBob when the fire went off in his brain and he had all the little SpongeBobs running around. That is what it does to a defense. It's like, oh shit, where are we going? A regular motion does that. These little quick jet motions to the side, to the strong side, and getting Tariq out quick on a wheel and then coming in on the slant. It's shit like that. You can't even game plan for it because these ain't motions that's ever been run before.
Yeah, listen,
especially not with this speed.
He ran 9 different motions.
9 different motions. Not random motions 9 times. He ran 9 different types of motions. If you would have asked me how many types of motions there were last week, I would have said like 6, maybe 7. He ran 9 different types of motions. And that is just opening things up even more because it's not like he's running the motions, and it's like, all right, That was cute. That had nothing to do with the play. It's like, no, Tua, we're running this motion to get this route even more open for you.
Right.
And Tua, don't miss. So that offense is just going to continue to grow. And then they have Raheem Mostert out there who's just going 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards whenever you need it. Yeah. So defensively, though, Vic Fangio, man, they don't got Jalen Ramsey yet, bro.
Yeah.
They don't have Jalen fucking Ramsey yet, bro. So what they're able to do is super important. We're not going to give up big plays.
Right.
We're not going to give up long runs. And we're going to be great on third down. Some defense, that's all you need.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes, that's all he needs. A locked-in Josh Allen, that's all he needs. Yeah. I need third downs, get off the field on third down. Don't allow big plays to switch the momentum.
Yep. And
turn the ball over when you can. And I think that is what we're seeing from the Dolphins. It's like you said, Vic Fangio is going to keep two high safeties. We're not going to blitz too much. Yeah. We're going to keep things relatively simple. But we're going to play physical. We're going to tackle. They got an interception, which is important. We're going to try to get a turnover a game, and we're going to let our offense win us games, and we're just going to do our job to manage them. Right. It's kind of the opposite of a great defense and a game manager.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to manage the game and make sure this team doesn't get out of sorts. But our offense is going to go down and punch it in and give us 30 a game down there. Yeah. So it's like truly their team is like how we said, oh, they're a piece away. Yeah. They got the piece. Right. Vic Fangio was a piece for their defense. Yeah. And then, like I keep saying, bro, you got 5 coming. Yeah. 5 is coming later in the year.
So I wanted to hit on the Dolphins defense because I knew you hit the offense perfectly. But before I do, like you said, the emotions, like, man, the red zone play, like the red zone touchdown, I could have threw that pass. Like that.
Literally, bro.
He is so wide open, dude. He could not be more wide open.
Dog.
Because what the motions are doing, and it's kind of mean to think about, but every play, they're just stress testing your defense. They're stress testing your communication. They're stress testing your ability to tackle and run in space. They're stress testing your physical conditioning to chase these guys around. And literally, they're just waiting for you to mess up, waiting for you to miss that tackle, waiting for you to miss that assignment. And then they're so fast. Their Tua is so accurate. He's gone. Waddle's gone. Mostert's gone. Like, and you saw that with the run game where, man, they're just stress testing the whole game. We've been running this one way the whole game. We flip it. We go inside zone. He's untouched. Because it's just so much to deal with. But defensively, I wanted to hit Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and, God, what's the white guy name?
I know his name. I cannot think of it. Let me go for it.
Is it Van Ginkel? It's not Van Ginkel, right?
It's not Van Ginkel. I don't
What is his name? He was playing defensive end in replacement of Jalen Phillips, who was out week 2. But this defense is top 5 in pressures right now. And they're bottom 3 in blitzes.
4-man rush.
And that is
Oh, this is Van Ginkel. My bad.
Van Ginkel. That's bad. I really just guessed, though. But what you're seeing on this Bills defense is what we did not expect. And what is so worrisome is, it's some playmakers on this defense. It's some playmakers on this defense. Van Ginkel's a playmaker. Bradley Chubb looking really good again. Back with his old defensive coordinator that made him look great the first time. Jalen Phillips looks like they hit on that pick. He looks amazing. And the thing with this defense is it fits perfectly schematically. That's what you mentioned that I really loved. Where our offense is so good that it's part of our defense. And our defense is just here to just make it a little too hard for you.
Yep.
Just a little too hard for you. Where, okay, you'll get this, but third down, big play, all that stuff, you're not going to get.
Nope.
We are not going to get in the way of our offense.
Nope.
There's not going to be games where we're going to ask Tua to speed it up, even though they probably could. They could probably win all these games asking Tua to win the games for them, but we're going to try to play complementary football. And for our offense this explosive, this potent, and this consistent, it's really hard to beat them for 4 quarters. And you've seen this ever since Mike McDaniel took over, where it's really hard to beat them for 4 quarters, where like the Dolphins, Ravens come back, or games like that where feels like
Chargers
you got
game,
it.
they
The
came out
Chargers
with
game,
it.
where you feel like you got it in hand, but man, to get that lead, you've had to play so perfect.
And the beauty of Tyreek Hill is you always want to play away.
Yep.
You always want one play away from him going 60, for him going 70. And that is the danger of their offense being so meticulous. Yeah. And we don't got to hit the big play. We got 2-4-2 guys over. We don't got to hit a big play. We don't got to do none of that. We're going to go 5 yards. We're going to go 6 yards. We're going to go 7 yards because we know you're going to make a mistake. Right. We know you're going to get aggressive. We know you're going to get out of position. We know you're going to get hungry. And when you do, we're going to make you pay. And that's what these motions do. Right. That is what the speed does. It makes you make plays. It makes you make bad plays. It puts you in positions where you know you shouldn't make this play. Yeah. But I think I got it. Right. I think I'm about to read this right, and you don't, and they make you pay for that. But my one of my favorite watches this year, man. I really like watching Tua work. I love watching how accurate he is, man. And I like Tyreek Hill is one of my favorite players to watch because it just like his speed pops off the field. His speed pops off the screen. His speed pops off the screen. Yeah. And I am very interested to see how they continue this season because their next couple games are the Broncos, Bills, Dolphins, Panthers, Eagles. Those are. You looking at up to the Panthers, you looking at a 6-0 start. The Eagles game looks like a Sunday or Monday night game in Philadelphia in October, so you might not win that. That may be your first loss, but hey, bro. Hey, bro, it's gonna be hard to
win all these games.
That's what I'm looking at their schedule. The football is so funny to look at because you looking at these games, you're like, they might win all these motherfuckers. Yeah. Like the way I am seeing after 2 games, bro, I am very, very confident in them going the rest of the season, losing less than 3 games. Like that's how good I think they are.
They're a scary team.
Like if they end up 14-3, I'm not gonna be surprised. Tua will be creeping into that MVP conversation by week 6, week 7, and this continues.
No, they're a scary team, man.
Yeah, very scary. But
shout out Jalen Waddle still.
Always. Yeah. Anything else you want to hit before we go? I don't think Drake pushed his album back. I'm not discussing Drake and his nonsense, bro. He's a rapper. Yeah, Rappers do this. He has a show in Toronto, and he wanted that one to be in Toronto instead of Atlanta and all of that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
So October 6th, so 2 weeks after the originally said of the 22nd. So no new music this week because everybody ran when Drake announced. Yeah. So
shout out Lil Tecca.
And I also will say this. This is crazy. This may not be true. But there was a rumor going around on the Lil Wayne fan pages that he was dropping 929, and knowing Drake, he's the type of nigga to get out the way for his friends. Yeah. And he might have been like, hey, brother, like, you the king, you go, like, you all that, but, like, I'll probably outsell you my week 2. I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to have them conversations. So he might have moved out the way for that. That's not guaranteed or nothing. Right, but it was something I saw on one of the trusted Lil Wayne fan pages. Right. So that could have been it. If it's not it, then I don't know why. It's the Toronto thing. Those would be my 2 guesses. Yeah. And as far as, like I said, everything else, nothing. Puff's album, still amazing. Probably my album of the year. Like, it's that good. It's definitely my R&B album of the year, no doubt. But as far as every album I've heard, it's one of the best 2 or 3 albums I've heard.
We don't do drama too much on here. We're not going to talk about Chris Brown. We're not going to talk about, like, the beef that y'all are manufacturing, like. We don't do that over here.
I do not care.
Yeah, I don't care, bro.
SZA dropped the acoustic version of Snooze with Justin Bieber. It's fantastic. Yeah. As I mentioned, Killer Mike dropped a crazy deluxe. And I listened to Rob Wave. I got the chance to finish that, and I really, really like it. I've listened to all 3 of Rob Wave's projects. This is easily my favorite. This is a project I will go back to. His music is very similar, has a specific style, but I think that is okay. And I think people that make fun of artists for having a specific style and sound they stick to are weird. I don't know why you.
That's the funniest thing I ever.
It's such a lazy take.
Oh, right? It's so funny. Like, why would I not? Like, bro, the only reason you know who I am is because I'm doing this music. Why would I be like, all right, bet I've gained all these fans who want this from me. Let me not do that no more.
Right? It's just stupid. That's what we complain about artists doing all the time.
Literally, bro.
People still mad at A$AP Rocky for testing, dog.
And the most frustrating part is, and I kind of tweeted. It was kind of similar, but like. The only niggas who complain about that shit don't listen to your music. That'd be the worst part. Like, y'all niggas don't even listen to my music in the first place, bro.
That's facts, bro.
Like, y'all not even, like, what am I changing my... Y'all not getting the album? No way, nigga. Y'all not buying albums, nigga. Like, it's hard enough selling albums. I'm gonna betray my fans. Like, and lastly, bro, if you are one of those people who say, this artist all sound the same, all his music sound the same, it is a red flag. You are telling us you are too lazy to understand this music. That's literally what it is. Because saying all this music sound the same, it's like, man, all these quarterbacks do is pass the ball. Fucking all Steph Curry do, shoot. Steph Curry getting a low block. Like, do something impressive. Like, dog.
This is the sound. This is what they do. Their music is going to sound
like
like
music
that.
come in genres, nigga. Like niggas, like musicians don't just do music. Like musicians, like there are very few musicians that just wake up and do whatever style of music they feel like that day. Like Drake, Prince, Kanye, Hov, who's transitioned to rock, Wayne, who did rock. Like, fam, that is hard. It takes time.
That's not normal. Those are people that like how Wayne be talking about, like, I'm in the studio. Like, I don't go anywhere. I'm in the studio. That's how you get to that point. Kanye West always on a keyboard making like he remade every hot beat for 3 straight summers. Like, that's how you get to the point where you can do that. That's not no, all right, I'm raw wave. I blew up faster than I thought I was. In year 3, you want me to go to electronic music, my nigga? Like no, like I just got here. Can I drop these albums, get hot, make my 20 M's, sit down, and then work for 2 years to get to that point?
I'm 3 albums. Like he just sold. Listen, I want to clap it up for Rod Wave. Let's clap it up for Rod Wave.
He did sell 115 for sure.
Broke 100K.
Number 1 album, third straight number 1 album too.
Went from a niche fan base to I'm doing 100K first week.
And about to go on an arena tour.
And I'm going on an arena tour. A lot of niggas can't say that.
Shout out to Rod, for real.
So salute to him. But niggas want you to be like, oh yeah, I'm 3 albums in. Fuck that shit. What are you talking about? And the thing is, like, niggas around you in that room not letting you do. I know I wouldn't. I know.
What's poppin', twins? So, I'm just be real with y'all, bro. Something happened with the mics, and the episode cut out like 2 minutes early. So that was the end of the conversation around Way. We just wanted to give him a shout out. Ish is gone now. I didn't know the show ended like this. We re-recorded. I noticed it was ending. Pause, re-recorded, then I lost it. So it's whatever. We transparent, you feel me? It's a work in progress. This is all a beautiful journey. So please like, subscribe, and comment. We appreciate you sitting through this episode. We'll be back with episode 51 in the next few days, and you have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful life.